Fuck it.
Touching Tips, another episode. 30-something, probably not 40 just yet.
I think we're at 36.
A 36.
I don't know anyone who had the number 36 now.
Shaq on the Celtics. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. They couldn't even give him 32?
Nah,
Cold-blooded.
the only reason that came to my mind so quickly is because I just watched a video about them like questioning him about remembering all his numbers.
Yeah.
And it's like being portrayed like he's some like it's like Sean McVay recalling a play from the 2015 regular season. It's like you don't think the guy remembers like the 12 fucking numbers that he's had and all the destinations that he went to? Like that's kind of silly.
Yeah. Well, it is fucking cold as fuck out there.
Yeah.
It's this time of year that just makes me be like, why the fuck are we up here? This is insane.
You know what I think it is? I don't think, shout out to the homie Lana. She's like ready to quit the industry because fucking she ain't making no money down there.
Really?
Yeah, she said like bartending lunch is just, there ain't no
money in it?
Yeah.
In the South?
I mean, bro, every time I come across a fucking Southerner at the airport, it's like I'm already 49% checked out.
Yeah, pretty much.
As soon as I hear that voice or that accent, I'm like, you tip like shit. Yeah. You're going to want like my full attention for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like
they're going to ask you about sweet tea for sure.
Oh, yeah. So it's like, if that's all you're dealing with.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
That's really my only like worry about ever, like not really worry because I'm never going there anyway because my wife would never allow it, but my only plan down there was to be like, oh, well, I'll just get a fucking... You have to go to, like, a city center.
Yes.
Because I have a buddy who worked in...
I'll rephrase that. I'm talking about, like, the South. Like, that movie where, like, that runaway bride returns to that town. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, you got to go to...
I'm not talking about Tampa, Florida.
Well, they're even, like, one of the better, like, cities in the South, like Charlotte. Like, I had a buddy who... Is it Charlotte? I don't know. Raleigh. That's what it is. He goes down to Raleigh and like he works there and he fucking makes money and all that shit. But yeah, I mean, if you live in like fucking East Bumblefuck, Tennessee, and you're trying to work bar shifts, like I would imagine that sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think there's any core like? I don't know if you've dealt with like the amount of Southerners that I have now at this point with the job that I have. You know what I mean? And I also lived in the South for a while too. But it's like. Did, like, the Civil War just fucking, like, did we just take out all of, like, the hardcore dudes and now there's just, like, emasculated, like, I feel like the average, like, Southern gentleman gives you, like, a weak handshake and he has, like, feminine features.
I don't know.
Like, I'm telling you, they do. They're, like, fucking little fucking babies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if, like, the manners in the South just dictate that you act like a lady.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, man. I just see these guys and they're, like... I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe the archetype that I'm talking about. Other than what I don't know. Just said,
I feel like every time I like interact with a guy from the South, it's they're always just like they have a stupid beard. They're usually like 30 to 40 pounds overweight, and they look like they would be like excited about like an orphan barrel of bourbon. It's like you're a fucking loser, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Not who I want to be in the barracks with in like a World War II trench or something. You know what I mean?
They're 0 for 1. So.
I'll take my boys. I also I also do think that's like it's pretty funny like how like all of us like I feel especially up here like if you have like if you're a Red Sox fan, it's like you've been saying fuck New York ever since you learned how to talk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's like a 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
Like, you can't drive through Florida in 3 hours. You can't drive through Georgia, North Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, all of these, like, if you group together, like, Boston, New York, Philly, probably even Baltimore, you know what I mean? Like, that would all be, like, one southern state.
I mean, not even.
Or even one Midwest state. You know what I mean? Like, so you'd all be, like, one state of buddies if you removed it any other place.
Yeah.
But because, like, the Mayflower landed here and we had to, like, scalp Indians slowly away, you know what I mean, to like build the
we had to start small, then we got bigger, then all of a sudden it was just like give us fucking Utah.
Bro, I heard that. I don't know if I sent this to the group chat or not, but I heard this thing about how Russia helped us win the Civil War and like nobody wants to talk about this. Like there were Russian warships like barricading port cities, and the reason why we bought Alaska for $7 million back in the day is because that was like the bill that Russia was expecting we had to find a way to like give Russia $7 million for something, and Russia was basically, well, we don't want this fucking territory anymore. So just take this, give us the $7 million. Nobody will ever ask any questions.
Talk about an all-time fucking blunder.
Yeah.
With all the fucking oil up there, it's like $7 million. That didn't fucking age well.
There's a dude that's been going on Joe Rogan a few times now, and he owns a bunch of land in Alaska, and it's like this crazy deposit of like animals from like before the Younger Dryas catastrophe. Like the dude is sitting on like a couple acres that's like so rich in woolly mammoth bones and like saber-toothed tigers and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I don't know what I mean. If you watch all that shit, like that great flood that's in all of everybody's sacred books, like that shit happened. So it's like does this guy just have this like lower piece of land where like these floods just washed everything down to? Like, I don't know, because that's where my brain went to. But then he said he got carbon dating results, and there's like a 40,000 year span in the age of like the animals.
So in other words, like the youngest animal is 40,000 years younger than the oldest animal there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's really not that. I don't know how accurate carbon dating is either. Like, can it tell the difference between that little bit of?
I think it can. Yeah. I mean, I think it's literally like it can get you down to the year. I think carbon dating and shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it can get down to the year.
I think it can. I mean, to a certain extent, like if we're talking like millions of years, no, it probably can't. But like carbon dating, like for last 20 or 30,000 years, yeah, I bet you can get you down to like like a 5-year period of time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fucking scientist.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's all this like new age science that's coming to the light, I guess you would say, is basically saying that like before the theory was there were like these tar pits and like these animals would like wander into these tar pits and get trapped and then they would get like fossilized like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there was some of that, wasn't there? Was that the La Brea tar pits?
Yeah, but it's like how many of these fucking animals are like...
Have you ever met an animal? They're pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah, but there's other things too. Like they all have like all of them, like all of their legs are like shattered.
Yeah.
So like obviously there was some type of crazy trauma on, like their legs didn't break from them falling into the tar pits. Their legs got broken from some crazy like mudslide flood thing coming through.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
And just like...
I don't.
You don't know about this shit, right? You don't know about the Younger Dryas catastrophe?
No.
No? Yeah. So basically, they call it the Younger Dryas catastrophe because it's like there's this flower, I want to say, called a Dryas flower or something. And basically, it's the marker. It goes extinct at this point. It's one of the things that basically the Earth experiences like a mass...
catastrophic like event.
Not only a catastrophic event, but a mass extinction event as well.
Yeah.
So all of the mammals that average like over 100 pounds or more all disappear at this time. And before it was like, oh, these guys came over on the Bering Land Bridge and they just hunted an entire hemisphere of the Earth to extinction. You know what I mean? Like they weren't reproducing at the time and stuff and all this. And like there's less humans than animals.
Yeah.
You know, like that theory to me just doesn't
track.
Make any sense. So it's like, why do all of these things disappear at the same exact time?
Yeah.
And basically there's a lot of different theories out on this. Some of it is like a solar flare that could have happened, and that's why like Egypt and all these cities look like they got fucking a bomb went off. Like, why are all these solid granite statues like blown to smithereens? Like, it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't just happen from age, you know? So something happened, whether it's a solar flare, and that would also account to why there's all these subterranean tunnels that they're discovering and stuff like that, or they say that like every like 12 to 13,000 years, with the way that the solar system moves and stuff like that, we just come across this, I forget what it's called, but it's like a bunch of meteors or like a segmented comet or something like that. So the one dude, his theory is that one of these pieces of the comet, it impacts the North American ice sheet. And that thing's like two miles thick of ice.
Yeah.
And it gets hit by a comet. So basically, now you just turned all of that frozen water into liquid water.
Yeah.
And there's also evidence in glacier samples and stuff like that where the sea level rose 400 feet across the face of the planet. And then there's another impact like 1,500 years later where the water rises another 400 feet. So if you take the Earth back 15,000 years ago, there's 800 feet less of sea level. That's why we're finding all of these underwater temples and stuff like this, is because the coast used to be so much further out.
Yeah.
And people have always lived by the coast. You know what I mean? You're fishing, you're sailing, you're having ports and being industrious.
It's true
and
even
stuff
today.
Like that.
If you look at like the fucking map or whatever, like where
population density,
it's all around water.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what happened. It's this earth-shattering event happened. Like now, the majority of where everybody was is now 400 to 800 feet underwater. There's also crazy fallout from when comets impact. Like all that dust goes into the atmosphere, it blacks out the sun, the crops fail. It's just catastrophic. So all these things disappear off of the earth, and that pretty much, and for all the shit that I've watched and read about and stuff like that, now you've turned this global species of humans into like a segmented population. And then there's also genetic studies that show that there's a genetic bottleneck in the human population all at this time as well. So it's like now, and basically like who survives a fucking Holocaust? Or not
Jews? Is that where we're going?
No. Who survives a cataclysm is what I meant to say. It's probably the fucking cousin fucking rednecks in the mountains.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not the rich people with servants who live in
Malibu.
Yeah. You know what I mean? They're all fucking dead. So the people that survived are all like uneducated, fringe population. And then now you don't have as many mates or whatever you want to call it to spread the genetics around.
Yeah.
And it's like
they don't need them anyway.
That's why we have, whatever you want to call it, like an Asian population, an Indian population, a black population, a white population. It's because we got reduced down to such small numbers that now over time you sticking in that bottleneck, if you will, it just replicates the same people over and over and over again. So like, to me, it's like that shit fucking holds weight. And that's where like the secret of like, where did we come from and stuff? It's like, we're just like a species with amnesia, to quote Graham Hancock, who's one of the guys that I follow all the time. It's like, basically like we got lazy. We stopped paying attention to what was happening. We stopped plotting solar events. It's like AI took over and made us all fat and fully jerked off every day, and we didn't have anything to worry about. Bam. Now you got reduced to like nothing, and now you're a bunch of fucking stupid idiots that like don't remember what the fuck it is that you came from.
Yeah.
So you guys just fucking kill each other for resources and stuff for like 10,000 years before you start reading books again, kind of devolve into like, God-fearing monkeys and just a mess. So that's right. So to fill you in on that, that's where I think all that happened. And if you go back, there's a lot of great research. There's another guy called Jimmy Corsetti, and I can't remember this guy's name. He's from Australia. His name's Ben something, but he's got a friend that has like a scanner, and it's like the most high-tech scanner. So they put these vases in there, and they've scanned like statues and stuff like that, and the shit is perfect. Like they took like Ramsey's face for all the statues, and it's the statues are a mirror image of each other. Yeah, it's like you can't do that as a sculptor. Like that shit was like 3D printed or like lasered out of that shit. And like the pillars that they find at like Göbekli Tepe and stuff like that in Turkey, it's like the pillars have been reverse seared. Like if there's pictures like in Egypt, a lot of this stuff is like chiseled in. Yeah. Whereas this on the other side, they're concave. So it's like, how did you make that pillar unless you took that from a rock and then cut it all away? You know what I mean? Yeah. To have the monkeys and all the other shit that are on there. Like there was high technology. Like there is no way to say that this was made by copper chisels and human hands. Like this shit is like, they're getting to the bottom of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's no way that you can say that people in loincloths dragged stones and shit like that to build the pyramids. Like this was some shit that we can't even comprehend.
I think if you're threatening castration, you'll do a lot of things, because I don't know.
You haven't watched the shit, bro. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
that's true.
I'm not exaggerating anything. Like the mathematics and the scans and everything like stand to support. Like, no, you cannot replicate this with human hands by using like reduction methods of sculpting. Yeah. Like, so it's crazy. And that's why I'm at the point where I'm at, where I'm like, none of this shit is fucking real. This is all fucking made up. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, maybe
this is a giant sideshow at a circus.
I personally think you can motivate a human being to do a lot of things that they aren't capable of doing, as long as you say like, I'm going to cut your fucking hands off if you don't do it.
I agree.
Which has basically been our way of life for like 12,000 years.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, we need more of that in the restaurant business, I feel like. You know? You need more people to do just like going in there being like, if you don't get your fucking hands out of your pockets, I'm going to break your fucking arm.
Bro, I've gotten all of my appendages cut off in the last like 3 days that I worked. Yeah. I worked a shift at the airport where it snowed. Big fucking deal. I don't know if people called out because of snow, but I will touch on this one dude, right? You know the Dave Chappelle Netflix trio, and in one of them he's talking about the crack addicted whites.
Yes.
And he's like shooting them with buckshot or birdshot.
Yeah.
The kid that called out, he talks like he's like, "Come on, man." You know what I mean? Like this is that dude. He comes in, he looks like he fucking woke up in the gutter.
Yeah.
His hair's all fucked up. You know what I mean? His shirt's hardly ever ironed. He's a fucking disaster. So I had a bit of like premonition or whatever you want to call it. Like my homie that got me the job there, she's like, "Yo, just so you know, you don't have a server scheduled on Sunday."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, whatever, bro. Like I've had this happen to me before." But they wrote a new schedule. So now, like, that opening server has, like, a friendlier schedule. Like, they don't get help until later on in the day.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, yo, whatever. I got to fucking brew the coffee and take the 3 tables to get there before, like, the 6 o'clock server comes in or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now there's not another server in until, I think it was, like, 10. You know what I mean? So it's like you literally went from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Solo. Yeah.
Yeah, with nothing. I was just fucking running around like a madman. And so finally, and the kitchen guy called out. So that's what the issue was. If there was a cook, then the manager could have helped me.
Right.
But the manager had to cook.
Yeah.
So literally, I was just on the front of the house island all by myself. And that particular manager, he's not a front of the house guy. Like, he doesn't know table numbers. He doesn't fucking, you know what I mean? He's not going to run food.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not shitting on the guy. He does what he needs to do, but he's just not.
I mean, I don't know too many managers that can go back in the kitchen and just cook, so good for him.
But he's a culinary guy.
I'm just saying, though, like, he brings something to the table.
I'm not saying he didn't bring anything. All I'm saying is that, like, I'm painting the picture that, like, if the cook didn't call out, maybe it would have been a little better.
Yeah.
Not so much, though, because this guy's not going to expo the window and shit.
Yeah.
So, like, regardless, I don't think the cook being there would have really mattered anyway.
Right. You were fucked no matter what.
Yeah, like, if anything, maybe, no, because even, like, there's a lady at Dunkin' that's more front of the house oriented, but I don't think she knows the table numbers and the food like that, so it's like they couldn't have swapped places to make anything any better, right? So regardless, I'm fucking running around trying to keep a smile on my face just the whole time, being like, yo, I'm going to make $1,000 today. Like, I don't care. At the end of the day, I'm going to fucking try to hit that number, you know?
Yeah.
And it's busy enough for me to have those aspirations, especially for, like, the first 3 hours of shift. I'm like, yo, I'm getting it. Like, I'm going to pull something off today that's legendary. And then it comes in through the wire. I forget who tells me this, but they're like, yo, the crack-addicted white, he didn't show up because he let his badge expire. And it's like, yo, like, and granted, like, you have to have a manager fill paperwork out and stuff like that to, like, get you to go get a new, like, you can't just go to the badging office and be like, this is expired.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have, like, a signed sheet and all this other stuff.
Right, it's bureaucracy. Yeah. Still, though, like, you have to see it coming. It says it right on it.
It expires on your fucking birthday, bro. It's like your license. You know what I mean? It's like, did you have a birthday? Well, your badge is fucked.
I was going to say, I don't think that's true, actually, because mine expires in February.
But you're not past your preliminary period yet.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, this fucking jabroni, I find that out about him, and I'm like, bro, now I'm like mad. Now I'm like working like I'm Michael Jordan. Like that lit the angry fire on you. I probably needed that to get through the rest of the shift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to your point, it's like, bro, like, do you need to be threatened with this is your responsibility to get this shit fixed. You need to go. Like, I've had my badge expire before. I actually got through with an expired badge by 1 day.
Yeah.
It's like the kid who's looking, like, everybody must have just forgot to do what day it was, or I just got lucky where they were.
Or you just show them with your thumb over it?
They were loose. Nah. Like, I didn't even know that it was expired. Like, somebody pointed it out to me, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, and I got lucky in that point to where I was only working there like 1 or 2 days a week. So I had
another 4 days to do it.
And it's not easy to get that appointment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just something where you can call and be like, yo, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Like, you have to, it's like, it's almost like booking a DMV appointment if you've been there recently. So, yeah, I just couldn't believe that. You know what I mean? And then, I've kind of had my eyes on this, cornucopia of fuck-ups for a long time, because I'm like, yo, just a few more times and that's my boy's way in. You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, this has to be it, right? Like, this is it, right? And then my homie that got me the job there, she was the one to relieve me that day, and I was kind of prodding her about it, being like, it's got to be it, right? Can you help me help my friend now? You know what I mean? Like, I would never ask you to do this if it wasn't going to make the herd better. Like, this is such an infusion of, like, great work ethic and shit that we're going to get. You know what I mean? Like, just fucking get this thing. She's like, well, you know, you need to have a manager sign the papers. It's like, homie.
Yeah, well, that's a union job, man.
This dude's a fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing sticking up for him? Like, he does not deserve to be stuck up for. At this point, he's left her out to dry more times now than he's left me out to dry. It's like, let's get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
You know? And and then to the complete opposite point, it's like the two guys that come in, I've been friendly with them since I started working there. They were like one of the first couple of people that were like nice to me and were like, yo, you're fucking great. It's awesome working with you and shit. Like, my man Jose, I think Jose watches too, so shout out to Jose.
Shout out, Jose.
He comes in, he's like, bro, you took the whole place? I was like, yeah. He's like, this place is lucky to have you. Nobody would have ever done that.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean? I think I just said at that point, I was like, yo, you know what? And these guys, they're expecting too. It was a couple that came in, you know what I mean? Like, they're gonna have a baby.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to, like, be like, yo, don't give me the tip out. Put that in the baby fund. You know what I mean? Pay me out when you have the kid, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, get your life figured out. And I think that, you know, I was, like, walking up to them to say, like, thank you. And, like, they were, like, trying to get their shit sorted to, like, tip me out maybe. I was like, yo, I don't even want it. Thank you for not even the baby this time. Thank you for fucking helping me.
Yeah. Thank you for showing up.
Yeah. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for helping me reset the restaurant. Thanks for being gracious towards me. You know what I mean? Like, you could have shown up and be like, dude, this place is a fucking mess. We got to do all this shit. Nobody was like that, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shout out to Jose and Flex. They fucking came in. Cavalry crew.
You
got it going.
Yeah. You know what it is, man? Is like this next coming generation has, like, they have no spirit of exploration. Right? So it's like, when I go into a shift like that, like, I want to see how many tables I can take, how many fucking people I can get. I want to see how much money I can make, because it's like, it's almost like a, you know, I worked a shift once where it was, I worked at a place that was, like, next to a fire station, right? So we were on their, like, power grid. So, like, when everybody would lose power, it wouldn't matter. We would still have power, right?
Yeah.
So one day, though, like, literally the power, it was like a weird, like, it was like an October snowstorm that, like, literally, like, all of the tree limbs were still alive and shit, and it, like, knocked power out in, like, 4 towns. We were the only place with power in, like, a 5-town radius of Massachusetts. Only place. So when I tell you that, like, the moment we opened the door, like, we were filled. And I'm not talking filled like the restaurant seats and the restaurant bar seats are filled. I'm talking like I was serving people standing in the bar with their plate in their hand, eating food like that. Like, just straight up, I was taking as many people as we could. And it was a snowy, like, you know, the snow had, like, started in, like, the nighttime, had carried in through the day, or carried in through the night, and then, like, stopped, like, at, like, 9 a.m., so it was, like, just enough time for you to, like, shovel out, get to work. But I was, like, one of, like, 3 people who actually came to work. The other, like, 4 people were like, well, I can't get out of my driveway. I can't make it there, blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, whatever. So not only we understaffed, but it's, like, a fucking apocalyptic day. And people were like, you know, that's just it. Like, I wanted to hustle as much as I could. I wanted to see what, like, was possible. It was like I was taking people who were standing in the rows. You know, it was like I did an open to close that day. I think I made like $1,200 on like I think it was like a 12-hour shift or something. But, like, mind you, that was like, it's a Joe's American Bar and Grill. You have any fucking idea how many burgers and chicken broccoli and ziti's you have to sell to make $1,200 fucking dollars? Like, it was insanity. And people were, like, giving me shit too. Well, not a lot of people, most of the people were like, dude, I can't believe you're doing this right now. And meanwhile, I'm just pouring sweat. I got snot running down my face. And I'm just like, yeah, I know, man, this is crazy. And every now and again, I was just giving people shit all day. It was also it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday too. So it was a brunch service in the beginning, dude. And people, like, we did fresh squeezed juices and shit, like fresh squeezed OJ, fresh squeezed grapefruit. Dude, I got, like, you know, I pulled like a dupe, like that mile long of just like ticket, OJ. I literally was just like, we're 86 OJ, man. I ain't doing it. Like, tell him, go back to the table and say, you want some fucking coffee? I ain't doing that shit. Yeah. But yeah, like, we had to just do whatever we had to do to fucking survive, man. It was fucking nuts.
That's similar shift to what I just worked. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't have hot tea. I don't have iced tea. I don't have decaf. Like, you're lucky I got 2 hot coffees going at once.
Yeah, but then,
you know what I
I'll
mean?
work with a kid nowadays, though, who's like, he'll have a 4-table section, and one table gets sat outside of his section, and he'll just be like, I'm not going to take that. It's like, what, dude? You can't take one more fucking table?
Yeah.
First of all, I would never tell anyone, no, I can't take that table. I'll take fucking all the tables. I don't give a shit. Like, just stack them up and I'll see what I can do, It might not be pretty, but I'll get it. Like, everyone will be fed. Everyone will get the food that they ordered. Everyone will get the drinks they ordered. I don't know how quickly, but, it will be done.
Yeah.
Will
I be able to charm them?
Yeah,
Probably
definitely not. Yeah.
Am I going to recite specials?
Yeah.
Hell no. But, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is the most basic level of service going to occur where they don't feel like they got ripped off? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got my shit pushed in, too, yesterday. So we had, it's a 16-seat bar, restaurant that holds probably, what would you say, maybe like 80, 90 people at a time, if that? Whatever.
Yeah,
Either way.
I feel like you guys did, like, an update, too, so I don't even know if that...
Yeah,
you have, like, what is that room called? The silverware rolling room. And didn't that have a name?
Oh, Diva?
Yeah. That's crazy. I forgot that shit already. Holy shit.
Either way, I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, we got fucking busy. We were filled up the whole night, and
so you had one of these extra servers, and he only would take 4 tables.
Well, no, so we had the extra server last night, and they just all that facilitated was everyone was just standing around with their hands in their pockets while I was like literally crashing and burning. It's just like nobody was coming back to help me with fucking my glasses. Nobody was like restocking my plates. Nobody was like doing anything. It's like no bar back, no nothing. I'm just waiting on 16 people at the bar and making drinks for 100 people at a time. And then fucking to go to your point though, like your manager like hopping back by dude. I saw my fucking manager literally just standing there with his hands in his pockets for like 20 minutes at a time, just staring at me, watching me just like crash and burn. It's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, it's making me think. I had a banger of a line. The one couple I was telling you about this in the before we started filming. So basically, like I wasn't smart enough in my situation to like block off certain sections. Like that's a top level server move when you're short staffed, just to be like, nah, like you guys got to all sit in this box. You know what I mean? And I wasn't smart enough to do that. So these guys sit the furthest point away. There's no point to go under service bar. So you have to go out through the back all the way fucking through. So they get there and they're like, oh, we sat so far away. I was like, yeah. And they're like, wow, you're sweating. And I go, no, I'm not. I'm crying. And then I just fucking walked away. And then, like 5 minutes later, I came back with the drinks and shit like that. But I was like, bro, that was such a high-level joke under such pressure. And, like, nobody even fucking cracked a smile. I was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, you got to laugh at that. Fuck you.
Yeah. I went wasted. Well, off into the ether until I remember to talk about it just now.
Yeah. I remember working with you, though. You get sweaty. You're a sweaty guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because that, especially that place, bro, like it makes you go into psycho mode, bro. You know what I mean? Like you have to enter into some type of like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady. Yeah, like because there is no help. Like unless somebody's unless you have like a second bartender or a barback that's actually trying to become a mixologist one day in his life. You know what I mean? Like how is anybody supposed to help you? Because it's like there's not enough room back there for like 2 people to really stand at service and crank shit out.
Yeah.
And it's like, the only real help you can really have is for somebody to facilitate dishes and like be smart enough to ring orders in for the people that are sitting there and then bark the drinks to you and be able to like bring them back. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would do when, we first incorporated my brother into working back there. Or I think before COVID, we had my friend Karen. She was like a regular, but she wanted to get into bartending, but she was also like a 40-plus-year-old lady that had no experience.
Yeah.
So it was like...
a little tough.
Basically, it was like, yo, like you got the order-taking process down enough to where, you know what I mean? You can ring shit in and sell and all that, but you didn't have the drinks on lockdown enough and weren't picking them up quickly enough when I would tell you how to make them. That was like, just tell me. You know what I mean? Like, just facilitate the non-alcohol drink service. Like, give them the waters and whatever. Crack bottled beers, pour drafts. Tell me all the drinks. Ring all the orders in, and we can keep everything going. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, that spot, like I said, unless you have that person like that, like Zach when he first started working there kind of type that was hungry, that wanted to learn, that wanted to get better every day, you're just going to get killed. You know what I mean? to further the point of what got me so frustrated there, the fact that you're making the same amount of money as the people standing around with their hands in their pockets, and it's like none of them have the go-getter in them to see you struggling and not fix anything for you. Like, you gotta be like, nobody brought you fucking dishes without asking for them, roll-ups, like just the simple silent service that you would expect from a server to a guest. Like, why can't the server provide the silent service to the bartender? You know what I mean? Like, even at the airport, I get that. Like, the servers come through and drop a bunch of silverware in my shit. You know what I mean? They fucking put my side plates. They restock my coffee cups for me. Like, they know what they need to do to keep the machine rolling. And it's just absurd to me to hear. They're still facing these. I
couldn't even get them to give me ice.
Uphill battles. Even ice. Like, that's such a basic thing that I didn't even think of. Like,
well, there was a point in time where I literally, your boy was in the service window, and I literally just looked at him. And mind you, I'd already asked 3 people to get me ice. And I literally just looked at him and I was like, nobody's getting any more drinks until I get ice. And I just walked away from a dupe that was like that long. And was just like, fuck you people. I'm out of here. Anyway.
Which, older or younger when we say my boy?
You're a younger boy.
Oh, yeah. What a fucking...
Yeah.
Best part of him ran down his dad's leg.
Oh. All right, so what's going on in the world today? Do we have anything?
I don't know. You hear there's another fucking plane crash?
Oh, yeah, but everyone was okay, though, right?
Yeah, but the plane's, like, upside down. That's crazy. Like,
I think that was because of the wind, though, right? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I tried to find like more stuff other than the few videos that I saw, and I haven't found like anything new. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think everyone got out okay, but it was because I think it was just the fucking wind like was so fucking crazy. Ugh. So yeah, they got to. I'm definitely more fucking afraid of flying now than I was a year ago.
Yeah, it was like. I saw the one video of like this kid just being like, holy fuck, holy fuck. That's all he keeps saying, holy fuck. And he's like looking, he's like, I was on this fucking plane. Like, I'm like, this is never going to make it on the news, bro. Like, and also I feel like the video starts when he's like going out, like he's basically like this, like going out like the emergency exit of the plane.
Yeah.
And you hear somebody, like, I don't know if it's a stewardess or who, I think it's a man's voice if I remember correctly, being like, put that phone away. It's like, you're telling him not to record this shit? Like, this shit's going to be the #1 story on the news, my man. What do you mean?
At the same time,
put that phone away.
If I'm behind that dude on an upside-down airplane that's, like, on fire and this guy's recording shit, I'm fucking mowing him over and being like,
kick him
get
in the back.
Fuck out of my way with your phone, you fucking idiot.
I don't think it was, like, somebody behind him, though. Like, I feel like it was, like, a fucking, like, somebody assisting in the...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. Like,
but even then, the person assisting was probably like, "Dude, put your phone down and get the fuck off this plane." You know?
Can you imagine that situation too? Like, you're like you're just stuck on like the top of the loop on a roller coaster, essentially, because you're like buckled in, and the plane's upside down. So you gotta like let your seatbelt down to like fall.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta give yourself a suplex.
You know
to
what,
like get out of the seat.
You don't have like that much room. Like, so you probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, I think you'd be okay.
I think we're probably
some old ass person definitely broke their fucking neck. Though.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, we're approaching the cutoff point in age where we're like, nah, it's all right. Like, you give us a few more years, we'd be like, oh no, I think I'm gonna stay in my seatbelt until they come and get me.
Never mind, I'm just gonna burn to death in here. Anyway,
that's crazy. I don't know how the fucking I don't know how a plane flips over and doesn't. I guess there was a small fire that they did put out rather quickly, but I don't know how the fuck a plane doesn't just like. You're like a small tube of scrap metal with like millions of pounds of jet fuel inside of you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to add up to me.
Yeah.
All right.
What are they distracting us from this time? I saw this thing about, you see this Mountain Dew conspiracy?
No.
Like every time.
Oh, is that what the fucking video that he sent me, the Mountain Don't thing? That Zach sent with RFK? Which Zach's videos are awful. Like, first of all, they're all too long and they all make no sense at all.
I don't know, bro. I have so much trouble keeping up with all, like, I know I'm the meme lord. I'd be sending people shit on everything.
Yeah.
But I struggle to keep up with the shit that people send me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just, like, we saw it on one episode. I had like 19,000 unread emails.
Yeah.
What do you think the messenger component of all my social media looks like? You know, like, shout out to my boys at the tavern, Vinny and Joey. They're like, bro, you don't watch nothing that I send you? Like, I sent them some shit. And he's like, I sent this to you 3 days ago. And I'm like, I haven't taken a long enough shit to catch up on the stuff stuff that you've sent me yet, sir. You know.
Yeah.
I work 6 days a week. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough on your free time.
Yeah. You don't get the same social media access as everyone else does.
No. Yeah.
All right, so anyway, what's the Mountain Dew thing?
So basically, like, Code Red came out like 3 months before 9/11, and then there was like the Star Spangled Banner edition of Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
And that came out shortly before the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. Francis Scott Key is the guy that wrote the Star Spangled Banner. I'm impressed that you know that.
I do, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
So that's another connection. I forget all the other ones, but it's just basically it's like
so Mountain Dew is like the fucking 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
It's like a distractor.
Oh, it's a distractor? Okay, gotcha.
Or like a precursor.
I was going to say it's like the harbinger of terrible shit. Yeah.
I'm just picturing like James Hetfield singing "Harbinger of Sorrow" and then like fucking crushing
pounding
like
a Mountain Dew. Yeah,
bro. There was one point in like our collegiate careers where like Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle had come out.
Yeah,
and like the guys that they get bullied by are like big Code Red Mountain Dew fans.
Cheddar!
Yeah, and like there was like a point in my life where like a Code Red reference was just like a belly buster of a reference drop. You know what I mean? And I feel like people don't get it anymore.
Yeah, Harold and Kumar kind of I haven't seen that movie since like the 2004 or whatever when it came out. Yeah.
Isn't like one of them gay?
I don't
or just
know.
Doogie Howser is gay in that
Doogie
movie?
Howser's gay.
Yeah.
Well, he's not in it in the movie. He's gay in real life, but in the movie he plays like a hyper-sexualized cokehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think either one of them can be gay. Harold or Kumar.
Or Harold or Kumar.
They both come from like ethnic backgrounds where it's just not okay.
I don't know about that. I mean, the Asian community? You know how many ladyboys there are?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, there's like a few accounts going viral, at least on my timeline, where it's like these dudes that are just making these whores in Thailand famous. They're like, this is what my birthday's like in Thailand. It just shows like all these whores that you picked up. But it's like then they stay there for like an advanced level of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they just become friends with like whatever clique of whores, and they just videotape them saying funny stuff. Like one dude's like, "Wait a minute, what'd you just say?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "I cook, I clean, I shut the fuck up, I suck dick." And it's like, oh shit, there's dream ladies over here.
Yeah.
But basically, it's just I don't know why, because that's how Instagram is. If you click on something once, you
Then
love it
that's
for
all you
forever.
get. Yeah.
Like
Well, that's why
I'm not a foot guy.
Yeah.
Don't put your fucking feet on me. I don't fucking like that shit. I don't even like it when men wear sandals. I'm disgusted by it.
Yeah.
And I clicked on a foot by mistake, and Instagram still won't let me forget it. You know what I mean? You go into the search thing on my shit, it's like there's feet. It's like
everywhere.
What the, not everywhere, but it's like there's still
enough.
There's traces of them there. Be like, I remember that one time, and be like, yo, I didn't even want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that's why I don't want to click on any more of Zach's videos because I feel like I'm just going to end up just getting all of those videos.
Zach be like trolling you with the fucking gay shit too, bro. You know what I mean? It's always like I'll get like 30 seconds into it and be like, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Or he'll just send you like a video that's like 47 seconds long and it's like a video of like 2 gay guys dancing or something, which like whatever, but like there's no punchline, there's no nothing. It's just that for 47 seconds. And at the end of it, you're just like, why did I watch that all the way to the end?
Yeah.
Like, what was I even waiting for? You know? Like, you just were waiting for somebody to like come in and like, like the fucking, dance floor to collapse or something funny to happen. It's just like, that's all it was. It's like the whole point of it was just to get your ass to watch it for 49 and a half seconds.
I have like the darkest thing to say about this, and I don't really believe it. It's just a great joke. I watched that whole movie just hoping that it was the precursor to the Pulse nightclub incident.
Oh, man.
Fucking solid, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put that past Zach. Yeah. I mean, at least it would have at least there would have been like a period at the end of the sentence. Like instead it just like ends and you're just like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to go with that.
Yeah.
Anyway. Jeez Louise. R.I.P.
Who's dead?
The people of Orlando.
Oh yeah. That's like another another thing that I came across for like conspiratorial shit. I feel like that Pulse nightclub stuff could be on the list. But you know that there's like the Oklahoma City bombing.
I'm aware of that bombing.
There's a lot of incongruities, if that's a word. that I'm thinking of.
I don't know, man. Have you ever heard that dude Tim Nichols talk or whatever? He was like
Timothy McVeigh.
Timothy McVeigh, and what was the other guy? Something Nichols.
Terry Nichols.
Terry Nichols. Yeah.
But they never show the closed caption footage that they supposedly have of Timothy McVeigh and John Doe number 2, who they never find, never bring to trial, and is never talked of again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like the modern, like Luigi fucking whatever he is. Like the media is like, oh, they like this guy? We can't talk about him anymore. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. There's just a lot of it's almost like it was like let's see if we can get away with this if we're going to try to pull 9/11 off.
So it's like the fucking dry run?
Yeah, like the Mountain Thunder of the...
I don't know.
We gotta look. I'm gonna look more into it. I'm just saying.
Those guys were all like anti-government, so it's like they were like, fucking. Not, they weren't Branch Davidians, but they were like that. They were like also, those fucking like mountain
whoever
men,
they attacked,
militia dudes.
They attacked some like FBI or CIA fucking thing. Nobody was in the office that day.
Yeah. Well, maybe that was a dry run.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to look more into it. And also, the Vegas shooting at like the country music festival?
Yeah.
That's like got some crazy shit to it as well.
Yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah.
Like there's a guy that put together like an interactive map of like all of like the cell phone videos and actual police evidence and stuff like this, and like shows you where the shots were coming from and shows you how some of like the shots and the angles and stuff are physically impossible to come from that one hotel room.
Yeah.
So like who the hell else was shooting guns? And also,
yeah, but like when you talk about ricochets, though, like fucking,
I'm
just saying, if you shoot like a fucking metal pole and it fucking moves in a different direction, you're gonna say to yourself, "Oh, well, the trajectory of that looks like it was coming from this fucking."
I'll give you that, but there's just a lot of
fucking unloading automatic fucking ammunition into a crowded fucking town city square. It's like, dude, bullets can fly everywhere.
And also like the audio recordings don't match the guns. The fire rate doesn't match the guns. You know what I mean? Like, this dude literally would have had to have, like, all these rifles on tripods.
Yeah.
And he would have had to have multiple guns because if you're shooting all those rounds that fast, the gun's going to overheat.
Yeah.
So, like, and if you're shooting all those rounds that fast, you don't have time to put new mags in either.
Yeah.
So it's like you're literally like, da-da-da-da-da, and then you move on to the next one, da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's like there's just a lot of shit that doesn't line up.
Yeah.
So.
You know what, though? Maybe he did think of that, though. Maybe that's what he was doing.
But I think the guy that did it too is also like somebody who was like prodding the government.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're like, guess what? You're in big trouble.
We got you
Look
now.
what you did. We don't like Jason Aldean either.
Yeah.
I saw Jason Aldean at like a country music show. I don't know why I went. I think I took my wife to see Zach Brown Band or something like that, and there were like these. Obviously, there's like opening acts, and like the first act that opened, I don't even remember what they were called, but they were like people were saying this is what country music used to be. It's like outlaw country.
Yeah, outlaw, like
these
Waylon Jennings kind of shit.
I don't know these guys' names,
yeah, right.
But they were like in all black, which immediately got me hard.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, these guys are fucking cool. You know, I gotta look these guys up. And then Jason Aldean comes on. I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Like, it's like Justin Timberlake singing country music. You know what I mean? Like, so I just remembered that show, and like when the news broke on that, I feel like they didn't get him though. Come on. Oh, I heard another crazy thing that kind of ties into like entertainment. When Tupac was coming up, he was dating this girl, and she was like she was the daughter of one of Michael Jackson's close friends. And Michael Jackson regarded this, he always would say that this is like his niece.
Yeah.
He referred to her as his niece. So they're at some award ceremony shit, and Tupac is like, get the fuck in the, like talking to her like a fucking dirtbag, right?
Yeah.
And they say Michael Jackson fucking got into a fight with Tupac and beat the fuck out of Tupac for disrespecting his niece like that.
I don't buy that for a
second.
second.
But the guy talking about it, he's like, you grew up with a drunk, abusive father and with all of those brothers, and you guys don't know how to throw hands?
Yeah.
None of you guys know how to fight? Your dad used to hit you?
Tito, I can see it. Or Jermaine, maybe, but not Michael.
I don't know, dude. There's a lot of other like I seen this other thing when Michael Jackson bought the rights to the Beatles.
Yeah.
After having a conversation with it, but whoever he talked to about that, they're like, yo, Michael Jackson identified as a you-know-what.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
those were his people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that voice and everything that he did, that was all like an act.
He's from Gary, Indiana,
like if
man.
you talk to like if Michael Jackson was talking to you like as one of his like inner circles and stuff, he didn't use that voice.
Yeah.
Like that was like his fame voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I can see it. Especially like, you ever seen a zesty video of a young Tupac giving an interview?
Yeah.
You've seen that video?
Well, I'm not saying it like Tupac's tough. I'm just saying like I could not picture as not tough as Tupac could possibly be. He has to still be tougher than anything like the toughest Michael Jackson could be.
I don't know, dude. A lot of people
What
say,
era of Michael Jackson are we talking? Are we talking like
this is like
Thriller?
young,
Or are we talking
bro,
like
it's not that. There's only like fucking 3 years of Tupac.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? Like, so it's not. It's like
it was like more. Yeah, it was like 90, 94 to probably like 92 to 97. Yeah, is that what he died?
96, I think.
Was it 96?
I think he dies in 96 and Biggie dies in 97.
Yeah, all right.
And Tupac had a longer run than Biggie for sure, but I feel like most of his music and his sales are on posthumous record releases.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah, but actually, I think his last album was technically was it Me Against the World,
or like
his actual I'm Alive album?
I don't know, because honestly, bro, I wasn't a rap guy growing up. Like I had if you looked at my CD,
like All Eyes on Me is a post-stop. Fuck, I can never say that word. Posthumous.
Yeah,
is a posthumous release. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. The only CD that I had was a double disc.
Yeah. Well, All Eyes on Me was the double disc.
Is it?
I think he also had a double disc greatest hits where it's like
I think that's what I
like
had.
a black cover, like it's a black cover with him like kind of like yellow sepia kind of looking. It's also kind of like it's a similar album to cover to like Me Against the World. I feel like
I'm gonna Google it.
All right, I'm gonna Google it too. Anyway, though, they actually Google it. All I'm saying though is that fucking I just couldn't picture Michael Jackson being like tough enough to fight anybody, let alone fucking Tupac.
Dude, I feel like this is another thing you don't know about Hollywood. Every rapper is only like 5'2".
Yeah, no, I did know
like,
Tupac's
you look
small.
at like Tupac as like this fucking tough guy. He's still like a little tough guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't care how tough and ripped and everything you are. If you're like 5'3" trying to talk shit to me,
yeah, but it's
I'm
not like
gonna
Michael
think
was
that
like 6'7". He's fucking probably like 5'7"
even if he was
himself.
5'10".
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Whatever. We're a Tupac house in my house.
It is the greatest hits double disc that I have.
Yeah.
All Eyes on Me is a double disc, but I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I want to say this is probably the first non-Eminem rap album that I bought. I can't remember if I bought the Tupac greatest hits before I bought the first Eminem CD.
Yeah.
But they were within months of each other, I'll say that.
I probably listened to that Tupac All Eyes on Me album more than any other album ever. Just from like being friends with the people who listened to that album non-fucking stop. Like I feel like for 2 summers of my entire life was just me going to somebody's basement, smoking weed and listening to All Eyes on Me. As a matter of fact, I bet you if I go home, my friends who do drugs are still listening to that fucking album.
Yeah.
You know?
If you're talking about like rap albums that I just listen to nonstop, it's like later. It's way later on the timeline.
Yeah.
Like I know every word of Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, so
and I probably know like every word to like the Eminem and Dre songs on Forgot About Dre.
Yeah.
Like that era. You know what I mean? But like
50 and then the 2 first Kanye albums were probably the last like rap albums I actually gave a shit about.
See, I'd never even owned a Kanye album.
Early Kanye.
Like I was
good.
mad at Kanye for like trying to like when he came out and he was like rapping about all this positivity. Like I was on my G Unit shit, bro. Like you're lucky I wasn't wearing G Unit fucking sweatsuits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I knew they existed at that time, I probably would have went and got them.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was in G Unit. Like I would load my trunk up with drugs,
just fucking Lloyd Banks,
and just fucking listen to G Unit like everything was gonna be okay, and think that I was fucking the man like them.
Yeah.
And then Kanye's like, "Oh, positivity." I'm like, I don't want to fucking hear this shit. I'm trying to hear about fucking gang wars and stuff, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. But the first 2 Kanye albums are all-time albums. I mean, Kanye fans will like them past that, but to me, like those are the last 2 albums I really gave a shit about in rap.
I mean, I like Kanye's music, but like I just never I don't have any experiences where I put on
I just like his opinions.
Yeah. He's crazy. My man sent me that. I thought Zach.
This is what happens when you get involved with the fucking Kardashians, man. You fucking they take
Everybody goes nuts.
They take powerful black guys and they turn them into fucking nutcases.
Yeah.
You know, fucking Lamar Odom. What the fuck is he doing these days?
Isn't he like a?
He's probably on crack still.
I think he also has like a relationship with like a transgender going on as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking Kardashians just ruin people. Anyway.
Trying to think of their other people. I bet Chris Humphries is doing just fine though.
He got out in time. That's the problem. Or that's what it took.
Yo, did you see Blake Griffin's interview with Sam Morrill and Mark Norman? Do you know those comedians?
Yeah, I know them. Yeah,
I
don't think I saw it. No,
I want to say they have a whiskey that they put out together called Bodega Cat. So that might be the name of the podcast, or it's centered around like them promoting that whiskey brand or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like Mark Norman basically asked him, he goes, "You're mixed, right?" And it's like, yeah. And the way like Blake Griffin is talking,
I'm a 7 foot tall black guy with red hair. Yes, yeah. I'm mixed.
But he's talking to them like in the voice of like the sorority boys from Borat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so Mark Norman's basically, and then he drops that he's going on Carmelo Anthony's podcast after this. And Mark Norman's like, so you're going to like switch it up in how you talk, right? Like you're not going to. And he's like, I believe the youth these days are calling it code switching.
Yeah.
And Mark Norman's like, oh, it's great to finally have a term for it. And Blake Griffin's like, you're still racist. It's okay. And big laugh. But then like Blake Griffin even like embraces it. Like he's talking to them like a white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then he starts talking about like what he's going to say on Carmelo's podcast. And he goes, yeah, Kobe was cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just the funniest fucking shit. Like,
yeah.
For a minute, I thought Blake Griffin had interwoven himself with the Kardashians.
No, yeah,
maybe
he looks exactly like Chris Humphries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, no, Ryan.
Yeah. I think, did they get married or they called it off or something? I don't know.
I think they got married and they got divorced real quick.
Yeah. And then Chloe was fucking some other NBA player, right? I don't give a shit. All those people are fucking monsters anyway.
She's had the craziest transformation out of all of them.
In what way?
Like physical,
well, now she's like
plastic surgery and shit. You know what I mean? Like she kind of used to be like the fat, ugly one.
Yeah.
Like when
I always thought she was I always thought she was hot. I like my girls a little thicker.
Well, it's probably because she came from the loins of a black guy wearing sneakers. Yeah. You know she's really OJ's daughter,
kid.
right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't know. She's great. Like I see her now, and I'm like, which one is that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
she's like ripped now. She's like fucking jacked.
Yeah,
like I saw my wife watches all those Kardashian shows and shit, and I like saw her, and I was like, God damn! Like she's fucking looks like she could whoop some fucking ass now.
Yeah, I don't know. I've spent a minute since I've seen. I only see
the younger ones.
I only see clips.
Younger ones suck.
You know who I enjoy is the dude Scott.
Yes, I love
show.
Scott.
Yeah, he was funny, but they got divorced, right?
Yeah,
like that's the broad that's like fucking Travis Barker now.
Oh yeah, she sucks too.
But that was Scott's
his,
lady is. That's funny that she like left you. She left like the cleanest cut guy at the country club for like the fucking trash man.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that catches up on the Kardashians.
That's funny. Like I was talking to you before we started filming. Like I've been on this renaissance of like my middle school and high school music because I got a car that has like a nice stereo in it now.
Yeah.
Because before I was driving around that Honda and I would literally have to like hold my finger on the button to like get it to stop. Like there's some kind of glitch in it. You know what I mean? Like it would go to like FM, AM, then it would start skipping all the channels, and then it would go to, you know what I mean? Just a mind of its own. So if you didn't want it to do that, like a normal, sane human being, you'd have to sit there. And I felt, honestly, like maybe that was contributing to my road rage, being so mad about having to hold that button down.
Yeah.
But, you know, just kind of like, and it's like it's a base level Honda. Like, speakers probably aren't that great.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell the difference is. This car, the new car that I got's only a year newer, but obviously a higher trim level than what I was messing with.
Yeah.
So nicer system and shit. And I've been like, yo, what haven't I listened to in a while that would fucking sound good in this? And I was like trying to think of like albums that I haven't kicked back to. And my Blink 182 days, I don't think I've fucking relived that since I like stopped listening to them.
I never really was like a big Blink 182 guy. Like they were all right, but like that was kind of like the tail end of like my punk rock like phase or whatever.
Yeah. I was listening to Blink-182 and Linkin Park a lot in my my high school girlfriend broke my heart phase.
Yeah.
And I always say that. I say, fuck, Linkin Park tricked me into being depressed. Because I heard that One Step Closer song, and I was like, oh, these guys are fucking dope.
Maybe it's
and then
cool
the
to be
whole rest
sad.
of the album is like, just come be sad with me.
Yeah. No, fucking.
You're like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? This is not what I signed up for. It's not the ride that I thought that I was riding.
The fucking album comes with like a prescription of Valium.
Yeah. And then Blink-182 is like the same shit. Like, I feel like I probably listened to more of the Take Off Your Pants and Jacket album.
Than Enema of the State. Is that what it is?
Oh, no, I had Enema of the State banging for a while, too. I forgot about that one. So, yeah, but I mean, they're the same album. They're both fucking crying about girls, too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Pretty much.
And it's like, fuck, man.
See, that was when I
really like it. I'm really lucky that I fucking started fucking hot chicks in college. Or I probably could have went down like that emo skinny jeans fucking.
You'd have like your hair flipped over your
Yeah, I was just
fucking
gonna
head.
do that, dude. That's so funny that you brought that up.
Yeah, no, that was like when all that shit started. That was the time period where I started like being introduced to all the older music. So like that was kind of like the hard stop of like my, cultural, like this is my generation kind of shit.
Yeah.
I was like probably 2000, 99, 2000, something like that. 98 maybe. I can't remember.
Yo, what about Disturbed? Did you ever have that album?
What's me?
No,
Well,
you were gone by then.
just who like is that the band? That's
Yeah.
the band. Yeah, no, I didn't. Oh yeah, I know that song. I just say I'm all set. All set with that shit. Yeah, I mean like my hardcore like Korn, Marilyn Manson, like all that shit days. That was like more like 8th, 9th grade. And then like 10th grade was when I was like I had my awakening where I was like, oh shit. Like I listened to Dark Side of the Moon. I was like, this is way better.
Dude, I just had this funny fucking
I did dust off self-titled Korn though, like a little while ago, and I was like, I'd fuck with this still. Yeah.
You know who I fuck with the most in Korn is the bassist.
Yeah, was that
Fieldy?
Yeah.
Not even on a, but this is just from listening to Follow the Leader again recently in this car.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, yo, Fieldy's, Fieldy's the fucking man, bro. I don't think I appreciated him enough back in the day.
You know what, too? Another one, at the time, I was always like, because I don't know why, but Les Claypool and like Primus was like a big, like, not hippie, but like in that kind of like, all my hippie friends loved Les Claypool, and I was like, this guy fucking sucks. But like I went back and revisited Primus, and I was like, dude, this fucking bangs. Like,
yeah, I've never listened to it. The only Primus I know is off of the South Park movie soundtrack.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying though, you listen to the bass lines of that though, and it's fucking crazy. It's just like bop 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 bop.
Do they have a song called like something like Jerry was a race car driver?
Yeah,
is that Primus?
Yeah.
All right, so I've listened to. I think that's
Winona had a big brown beaver. Yeah,
no, I don't know
Winona's
that one.
Big Brown Beaver. My name is Mud.
Is Race Car Driver on Tony Hawk? I think it is. Maybe. It might be on like Tony Hawk 2.
I was gonna say maybe 2 or 3. Yeah.
So yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a thing on like Behind the Music or something back in the day when. What does Les Claypool play? The bass, right?
Yeah,
so when fucking homeboy from Metallica died, Claypool auditioned to join Metallica.
Yeah.
And they were like
this isn't.
They
us.
were like, what the fuck? Yeah, like I don't know. That's a pretty funny story if you ask me.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty much universally regarded as like one of the best bass players of like of that whole generation.
So you don't know about Mudvayne either, huh?
No. Yeah.
Mudvayne has a bassist that somebody made a meme about, and like now I can't even listen to him anymore. Not that they're always kind of like you'll get done listening to Slipknot and you're like, all right, put that one good Mudvayne song on too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the bassist, bro, his shit sounds like he's fucking playing Seinfeld tunes. And somebody made like a meme about it, and like now every time I hear it, I'm like, oh fuck, dude, the Seinfeld bassist plays in this band.
Yeah, I'd say though the last music or whatever that I listened to from like that current generation was actually the like the early 2000s like New York rock, like the Strokes and Interpol and all those bands and shit.
Never got into them.
Well, so I really liked them at the time. The Killers, same thing. But then like years later, my wife bought me a book for Christmas or whatever. It was called like Meet Me in the Bathroom. But it was basically just all about like that era of 2000s rock music where I was like, oh, this would be cool to listen to. Reading that book ruined all of those bands for me because the book was just nothing but them just being pretentious, like little bitch, like jealous, envious cocksuckers. It was like, and then you find out that like the lead singer of the Strokes, that dude, like fucking, I can't remember his name, Julian something. His dad was like some like high level executive with like some modeling agency. So like he was living in New York City like on his dad's dime. It was like just you learned out like these people are just such fucking losers that you were just like, God damn, dude. Like why would I ever have listened to these fucking bands?
It's like they just like replaced Billy Madison going back to high school and starting a band.
With I'm going to New York City and like wear like ripped jeans and pretend like I'm poor. It's like you're a fucking loser.
Isn't there something about like I think it's the Killers, but isn't like all of their music like religious and you just don't know about it?
Well, they're all Mormons, yeah.
Yeah.
The Killers actually in the book are the only ones that like look cool because they're the only ones that are like, yeah, we're fucking rock stars from Las Vegas.
Don't they wear like Reservoir Dogs tights or
yeah,
suits?
Well, they kind of have like that vibe. Yeah. Maybe like fucking weird marching band shit, you know?
I'm trying to think of like like where my cutoff was that you're talking about. You know what I mean? Because really, like if you have me,
well, it sounds like you're probably like 0506. Like if you're talking G Unit, like that's probably if that's like your last like
but
new album you bought. Yeah, actually, what's
say,
the last new album you bought? I mean, granted, we're on fucking Spotify and shit now, but like. Do you remember what the last album you held in your hand was that you like bought from the store?
I can remember one of the last albums that I got, and I can't believe how fucking much it's worth. It's a band called As Blood Runs Black. And if you're into metal and like this album is a one-off. Like I think that they get a new, like this is their debut album, and by the second album they have a new lead singer. And like, so it's like really they this band in its, original construction only put this one album out.
Yep.
And it is fucking the heaviest fucking shit. Like a lot of like the lyrical content is about like
molestation?
No, it's like fucking like the one song is called In Dying Days. That's probably like anybody that knows him would know this song.
Yeah.
And he basically says something to the effect of like, winners are hard to come by, followers are omnipresent, satisfied with a mediocre lifestyle. I forget what else.
So they're like the Tony Robbins of metal music?
I don't know, dude, but I just listen, like...
Make yourself better every day!
Yeah, bro, like, and like the fucking breakdown and everything, like the guitars and everything, like, it's just a fucking dope like, the whole album is fire, and there's no gaps in between the songs either. Like, every song kind of plays into the next one, so you're just listening to like a 50-minute masterpiece, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And there's maybe only one song that I would skip. Like, so it's pretty fucking solid album. Yeah. And that CD now, I looked it up because I wanted to put it like when I had the Lightning and it only had the CD player.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to put like, because the Lightning that I have is completely stock and they're more valuable if you just leave them how they came from the factory. So to me, putting like an aftermarket head unit in that was never an option. But it did have a 6-disc CD changer.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, let me get fucking As Blood Runs Black. I went on eBay, bro. It was like $90 for that CD.
Well, it's probably because it's out of print, I'm sure.
Yeah,
so,
and it was, these metal bands of that genre, of that years and stuff like that, like smaller record companies, smaller printing. You know what I mean? It's not like they're on like Columbia.
Yeah, well, in order for you to get that album, they have to like wake Gene up, and he has to be like, I guess I got to print another one of these.
Yeah, but yeah, that might be it, and it might be around like 2005. 05, 06, because I moved back like 06, 07, and at that point, that massive CD collection that I had built up for my entire life, I left that in the car that I got towed back up here.
Yeah.
The Red Dragon, 1991 IROC Z.
Yeah.
And, just that CD book miraculously disappeared out of my car on the way up here.
That sucks.
So, yeah, I lost my entire music collection. And then so pretty much I moved back up here not knowing that I was addicted to Percocets and like withdrawing and just having a miserable time, being
Why
mad.
Am I so sick?
Yeah, being mad that my CDs got jacked and shit like that. And at that point, the technology's there where it's like, I'm not going to rebuy these. I'm just going to burn them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I sat around for like a couple weeks trying to get my life in order, figure out what I was going to do for a job. But the whole time, I just had LimeWire or Kazaa, whatever the fuck we were using, just downloading all those albums, right? And then eventually I burned them all to CDs and I had all my albums again, you know what I mean? But shortly after, I want to say, you got Pandora on your BlackBerry and you didn't need that shit anymore. So,
well, yeah, I can't remember what my last album I bought was. You know what? Actually, never mind. I do. I think, and the reason that it was the last album is because I was like, this fucking album sucks and I'm never buying a fucking album again. It was like that Weezer album with like fucking what's like Beverly Hills on it and shit. I can't remember the fucking name of that album. But that was like I don't know, that was probably 04 or 05 or something. But yeah, I paid my hard-earned money for that. Literally put in like the CD player on like the car ride home, and then got to my apartment and was like, I don't think I ever want to listen to that again. Yeah.
I'm like trying to think of like somebody's album that made me just put them away.
I mean, I still love
Just being like,
early Weezer was good.
I'm kind of done.
I don't know
with this.
why Weezer got like anointed the emo band of that era, but like I feel like they just weren't. All the emo bands were the whiny like bitches complaining about like their dad not noticing them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, as Blood Runs Blood, this album that I'm talking about came out in 2006.
Yeah.
So it had to be like along this time. It's like this album, maybe like whatever album Avenged Sevenfold put out.
Yeah.
Like they had some kind of Bat Country or some shit, some take on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That album.
It's a fucking great movie.
And maybe like whatever like Slipknot and Marilyn Manson album came out at the time. And I can't remember if I ever did own a copy or purchase a copy of the first Kanye West CD.
Yeah.
But I do vividly remember listening to it in physical presence. So either I had it, my roommate, one of my good friends, somehow. But it's like, yeah, new shit ended for me. Like,
in that era.
Yeah. That's crazy to think about. It's like, so I stopped listening to new music or buying new physical media music essentially around the same time the Patriots went on the undefeated run.
Yeah.
And that's how I fucking frame things on timelines in my head.
Which Super Bowl was that?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Dude, I saw, you know the guy on a bar stool that has like long hair? I think his name's Caleb, maybe.
I don't know.
He's got long hair. He looks like he could be on Workaholics. Like, that's kind of like the vibe.
Oh, he has the mustache?
Yeah.
Blonde hair, right?
Yep.
Blonde, long hair? Yeah, I know
think his
that guy.
name is Caleb Presley, maybe.
Yeah,
is
he's
his
like
name.
not on Barstool anymore, right? Like he went off and did his own thing?
I don't know, because I just recently saw this interview today. He's interviewing Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And it's a very handsome version of Tom Brady that he's interviewing, I must say. Model Tom. And he's like, he gives him this scenario. He's like, there's 9 seconds left or something. Basically, he gives him what's happening at the end of the Patriots-Eagles Super Bowl that the Patriots lose.
Yeah.
And Tom's like, oh, no, they're like, you're on your own 49. You know what I mean? You got 9 seconds left or whatever. Like, what's the play? What do you do? And Tom's like, well, you should try to go for a short pass to get closer to the Hail Mary. And Caleb's like, I don't know, man. Like, that's not what I've seen. And then all of a sudden, like, Brady realizes the game that
like
he's talking about.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't need to do that because I know I can make it into the end zone from my 49. I'm like, oh, my God, Tommy, I miss you in my life so much.
Yeah.
Like, what a great response. Instead of him just being like, yeah, I fucked up, being like, no, conventional wisdom doesn't apply to me, bro. I can hit him in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like,
I was talking about if I'm calling the play for somebody else.
yeah, that was just great. And, you know what's another crazy thing kind of to think of about that? The guy that's the new head coach of the Saints, who's the Eagles OC, Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
He beat Derek Carr in college football.
Yeah, he was a Boise State guy. Yeah.
And he also has like the best record ever in college football. If somebody asks you that, he's like 50-3.
Yeah, that Boise State team that he played for was like fucking unbelievable. Never went to a national title game, but that's more for that's the bullshit that was like BCS back then.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, we're just gonna let like a 2-loss, Florida Gator team fucking go to the championship. It's like, motherfucker, we're fucking 13-1.
I just feel like so now he's coaching Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Whose ass he has whipped.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I used to feel working at 10 with all halitosis on the bar instead of me on Tuesdays being the server. You know what I mean? So literally this coach is just like, all right, so I got this fuck up that I can kick the shit out of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got to mold this guy into a man, and he wasn't able to do it on his own. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I think the Lions had Kellen Moore as a backup, I think. He's one of Stafford's backups, I think. He wasn't very good.
That brings me to another topic, which I think is pretty cool. I saw a thing talking to Drew Bledsoe recently.
Yep.
And they're pretty much asking, like, yo, how did you feel about the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? Like, that was your team. They brought you back for the AFC Championship game and stuff like that. And he has like the best response ever. Like Bledsoe must be like a solid dude in real life because he's like literally, he's like, I could have blown it all up. He's like, that was my team. I could have made things difficult. You know what I mean? I could have made this a fucking nightmare. He's like, but I didn't want to take the dream away from the other guys. Yeah. Like he's like, I didn't want to be selfish about it. He's like, I thought, you know what I mean? Like these guys grinded for me, and unfortunately, this is the situation that I'm in. I don't dictate it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be the best guy that I can be to the men who have been men for me.
Yeah. Bledsoe also went on to have a pretty good career. Like we went to the Bills afterwards. They were relevant for a couple years.
Yeah.
He went to the I think
he on the boys.
The Cowboys. He had a couple decent years. I think he was the quarterback that paved the way for Romo. I think. Yeah.
And he shits on Romo too in that same interview. Yeah. I guess he said. He basically makes a comparison between Tom Brady and Romo, and he goes, Brady, when he became the starter, he never stopped asking questions. You like the person that Brady was before and after being anointed the starter, same guy. And he's like, once Tony Romo became the starter, he's like, couldn't tell him nothing after that. Yeah. I think that's kind of, I don't know. I've always kind of held Tony Romo in high regard.
Well, Tony Romo, for like a long part of his career, was always plagued with that, like, it's the Jessica Simpson shit, right? The day before the fucking playoff game, he's like out on a date kind of thing.
I think they were in like Cancun. They were making a big deal about that on the bye week, right? And then Tony Romo botches that field goal hold, right? Like I think that's kind of.
I think it was a bad snap too, but like whatever. Either way,
And also, like, why is he doing that?
I don't know.
Like Brady doesn't fucking hold field goal snaps, doesn't they? Bring in fucking Matt Castle for that shit.
I think that was the year he took over for Bledsoe, right? Like I think he was the starter halfway through the year, but that was the Parcells.
So they didn't have like a third quarterback to do that, and they weren't going to have Bledsoe do it.
Yeah,
that's wild. That's almost as bad as having Gronk get hurt on a fucking field goal protection. Fucking thing.
Yep.
There's a lot of great, not great, probably all terrible stories about Bill Parcells. That's a fun rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
But, dude, I saw this other thing. I don't know why I can't get this TV to turn on and cooperate with us so we can see our little list going on. But I don't know if you saw the thing recently, but our man Zach showed his lady a picture of George Bush. Yeah. And she goes, "Who is that?" And she's like, "Is it a president?" And he goes, "The president when you were born." And she still doesn't know. Yeah. And then he goes, his father was also a president. And then he goes back to her. She goes, it just says ... Like stares blankly. You might as well have written, right? And then he goes, the one who did 9/11. She's like, oh, George Bush? Yeah. Like that's how the younger generation knows him. No, yeah.
I mean, he wasn't that long ago. Like George Bush got reelected like when I was a man.
Yeah. Bro, he's like the funniest one from the election.
Oh, yeah.
Like with the most, like when they had like the Heisman ceremony behind of all the former presidents, and he's just saying that everybody made the memes like when the edibles kick in, and he just makes that funny face. Like
George Bush, like, is a famous, like, fucking, like, he's apparently like a really fun guy to fucking hang out with back in the day. Yeah. Like, you hear stories about like the dudes he went to Yale with or whatever, and they're all just like, dude, George Bush is the man. Yeah. Like, yeah.
That's funny. They probably talk like that's how my friends from college talk about me. Yeah. Like the last conversation I had with my boy.
Except you didn't go to Yale and become the president.
Yeah. Nope. But my boy Pinky, he'll be like, like I'll make a post about like from like a memory or something. Be like, I can't believe that I'm fucking not this guy anymore. You know what I mean? And he'll always make some kind of comment like, I like that guy. I'll introduce him to you. And it's like, do you know what kind of like destruction that would bring on my life? Yeah. You know what I mean? To like
how terrible things would get in a hurry.
It's just so like I just think about that. It's like all my long-standing friends that like live in Florida. We don't see each other that much. It's like like the guy that you think that you're friends with like is dead. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you'd probably hang out with me and be like, I don't even like Ryan anymore. Like he's sensible. He doesn't say just off-topic shit to just piss people off for no reason and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was I don't know how anybody liked me when I was on drinking and drugging. You know what I mean? Like I just look back at that person as such a dirtbag. Yeah. And so now I kind of like look at my friends that did like that guy, and I was like, are you dirtbags? Yeah, like I don't think you are a very good judge of character. Like you want me to come down and meet your son? What?
Given all of the evidence that you have at
you want
your disposal?
To expose him to this? What the hell is wrong with you? What are you doing?
No. I have a few friends that I was just like, I think my kids are good ever knowing you. So, yeah.
That brings up like a funny thing on the list. Did you see all this Pat Mahomes Sr. versus John Rocker?
Yes, I did actually. Yeah.
I feel like John
Rocker would whip his fucking ass.
They're gonna fight.
Oh, what?
They signed a fucking Barstool contract to fight each other at Rough and Rowdy.
I don't know,
right?
man.
They
John
did.
Rocker. Well, no.
Dave Portnoy, let me tell this.
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy makes an announcement on social media, right? And him and Patrick Mahomes have been beefing. Like, Mahomes has been like, I'm not going on Barstool. Because obviously, like, Barstool's like Patriots loyalists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they don't like, Mahomes doesn't like whatever they've said. And so fucking Portnoy pretty much goes on Instagram and is like, hey, Patrick Mahomes, I'm your dad's boss now. I'm paying your dad money.
Yeah.
There's going to be a free seat for you at this event where I'm paying him to fight. If you'd like to show up for your free seat when I pay your dad to fight, we'll bury the hatchet at Barstool. We'll be happy to have you. We'll be best buds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just like, bro, this dude is so fucking cold-blooded for that to be the announcement of like, hey, I'm your new dad because I'm paying your family now. Like, that's fucking wild.
Did you see the video of them beefing, like, in wherever it was, Nashville or whatever? I mean, John Rocker looks just as big as he did
out of him,
25 years ago.
Yeah, like, and that also brings me back, like, all the funny stuff John Rocker, like the Southern guy hating on New York. Like, when we were just talking about music, right, I was thinking about this funny crossover, like that Marilyn Manson album, Antichrist Superstar, is such a banger when you really read into the lyrics and stuff. There's so much good, like, anti-government, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's being lied to, like, cattle herding kind of shit to think about. But it's like the person that's saying this is, like, so fucking gay when you look back at it. You know what I mean? It's like a grown-ass man with, like, pantyhose and girl corsets and shit. Yeah. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, so if you took Marilyn Manson and fed it into, like, an AI machine and you were like, just make it sound and look like it's outlaw country, it might be the best fucking album ever.
Maybe.
Manson has, like, a song where it's like, basically the chorus in it is like, do you love your guns? Yeah. Do you love your God? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Imagine that as, like, a country banger.
Be a banger.
Yeah. You'd have your fucking...
Like, you did it unironical.
Yeah, the boot scoop boogie going in no time,
there
dog.
Little Toby Keith put a boot in your ass.
Yeah. What about that? You see this shit where it's like, I miss the old Kanye, and they just dubbed Kanye's face on... Fuck, what the hell's the name of the band? Hootie and the Blowfish?
Yeah, no, I didn't see that. Yeah. Hootie. No, I am not Hootie.
What about I can't stand Burt Kreisler.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
But there is one part when Shane's first getting famous, and they bring him on, and Burt's like, I'm going to mess with him. And he plays Wagon Wheel on a guitar and tries to, like, tell Shane that he wrote it. And then he's like, what'd you think about that? And Shane immediately, he's like, gay.
That's a Bob Dylan song. I feel like Hootie.
What?
Yeah, Bob Dylan wrote that song. Yeah.
Did it get covered by somebody else before he did it?
Yeah,
too?
so Old Crow Medicine Show covered it, which was a better cover anyway. And then Darius Rucker, Hootie, did it, and now everybody knows that version. I'm like, not only is this the worst version of this song, but it's like you're giving fucking Hootie and the Blowfish credit for writing it? Fuck you. All I wanna be with you.
I mean, I got some things to play off of worst versions, like worst versions of people.
Okay.
So I had this lady order a Bloody Mary from me. And
stop right there. You win.
We're out of horseradish.
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm not asking you if you want it regular or spicy.
Yeah.
The regular Bloody Mary mix that we have is not that spicy. So I put like 3 little, not like
Tabascos,
fucking hammers of Tabasco, but just 3 little dashes of Tabasco, some Worcestershire, the Ocean Spray V8 mix, 2 ounces of vodka, little squeeze of lemon and lime. That's it. You know what I mean? That's basically my standard. If we have horseradish, I'll ask you if you want it regular or spicy.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, I'm not making any spicy Bloody Marys, just 3 little dashes of Tabasco.
Yeah.
This lady orders a double. Doubles come in pint glasses. Singles come in like those skinny little fucking
highball kind of thing.
Collins glasses or whatever. So I say all that to say she got the double. There's more of the tame mix in it anyway to absorb the fucking 3 little things of Tabasco, right? So she takes a few sips out of it and she goes, did you like load this thing up with Tabasco? Like, I don't think Bloody Marys are supposed to be this spicy. I'm like, lady, I fucking hate you. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You're complaining to me about a Bloody Mary being spicy?
Yeah.
Is this the first time you've ever fucking had this drink before?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, do you just want tomato juice?
I'm going to fucking kill you. And we don't have just tomato juice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just have the mix.
Yeah.
So it's like then I took the drink away from her, fucking threw it. in the thing and just made her a new one with no Tabasco, no Worcestershire, no lemon, no lime, just vodka and the fucking mix. And that's how all the other bartenders do it. They just say, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't care about making nice drinks.
Yeah.
Fuck you. So that's what I did. And that lady sucks. I just couldn't believe that that was her response to that. So then in the same day, I weighed on these two young ladies. Nothing really memorable about them except for the fact that I carded them. Yeah. I never card anybody. They were young enough for me to card. You know what I mean? So I carded them, and one of them had a PC shirt on. I remember it because my wife went to PC, and I owe them fucking $100,000 and fucking thrilled about that.
Yep.
So then these ladies are leaving. They had like one drink. They're getting out of there. Then another couple's coming in, and I hear them. This is an older couple now, and I hear them conversing about PC. And I want to say she said that they were like the class of like 42 or 56 or something like that. And that's fucking old, right?
That's
like
real
you
old.
graduated 75
you're
years ago,
dead.
so you're like 90. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, sweet old couple sitting down, right? So this is a day where like I can't keep a fucking open bottle of Prosecco in my well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm selling more Proseccos and mimosas than I am Bloody Marys. So I forget what homeboy gets. She gets a fucking Prosecco. I pour her a Prosecco. She doesn't even take a sip of it. She's just looking at it to see if there's any bubbles. And she's like, my Prosecco's flat. I go, it's impossible. Like, I haven't had
I opened this bottle like 18 minutes ago.
Not even, bro. I opened this bottle 7 minutes ago. And we have the fucking stupid thing that goes on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just been sitting there. And even if it was, it wouldn't be flat at that point. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I go, if you think that that's flat, you should get something different because the next glass that I pour you is going to be exactly the same. So now I'm busy, right? So I leave her with that to think about because she was kind of being a cunt to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, you fucking think about that. So I come back. I go, what did you decide on? What do you want to get? And she goes, I want a glass of Prosecco that has some bubbles in it. And I don't think that that's too much to ask. And I was like, wow, lady. Like, you're really like...
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm going to fucking ruin your day when you cash out because that's my move. I don't get fresh to you right away. I say something to you to let you think about it on that fucking 4-hour plane ride, you piece of shit. And good luck finding the number for fucking where I work at. You know what I mean? Or getting a manager to answer that's going to do anything about it. So the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, what am I going to say to this lady? What am I going to say to this lady? And like, the first thing that pops into my head was just going to be like, I hope it made you feel better to talk to me that way today. Yeah. And then I was like, that's good, but I keep thinking about it.
Let's workshop that.
Yeah. And then eventually I settle on the fact,
kill yourself.
My wife went to PC, and I think that one of the ways that I got myself into her knowing that I was serious is that I went to her graduation. And I dressed up and I treated it like it was a big deal because it was a big accomplishment for her. But the whole time that I was at that graduation, all I could think about is how lucky she was that I found her and saved her from having to marry any of these fucking tool bags that go to PC.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's what I'm going with. I'm going to get him, like, getting him so bad. And then it just, like, erupted. And I just did, you know what I mean? Like, and they were fucking old, but they understood that they could pay on the fucking QR code on the receipt. So they didn't even have to, like, interact with me to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, the whole rest of the day, I was, like, fuming about it. And then, like, when Renee got home from work, I was like, hey, let me tell you what I was thinking about saying to these PC pieces of shit. And then she just kind of looked at me like that meme that they made of, like, Taylor Swift with, like, the puppet that's like,
yeah.
You know, like, that's all she did to me. It just like carried on with like her after work routine. I was like, all right.
Cool.
Yeah. As long as you still know that you're married to a impending atomic bomb at some point.
Yeah. I'm eventually going to kill somebody.
Yeah. Hopefully you're dead by then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm spending all of the money that we made from you working hard on your education.
Yeah. So there's that.
While I'm making videos about Taiwanese whores. What about people that they sit down and they say, I'll have a mimosa, but no OJ?
There are such a people?
There are. There's enough where I had to write it on here.
Jesus Christ. So you want a fucking glass of champagne, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Like, and I say that every time. I'm like, so you want a glass of Prosecco?
Yeah.
Like, you can use these words next time.
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to solve a deductive reasoning problem?
Yeah.
That's also, did we talk about my experience at the DMV?
No.
So I go to the DMV, right? And this the last time I went to the DMV, the same thing happened to me. The guy who sold me the car, he signed on the wrong line of the title. He did it, and immediately it was like, fuck.
Yeah, because the moment you do that, you're fucked.
But he was like, just sign it on the line below, and hopefully they don't notice. If they do, and I bought the car from a reputable guy. You know what I mean? He was just asking me to do him a solid and see if I could push it through, right?
Yeah.
So of course, goes through no fucking problem, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. This will happen again. No worries. So I go to the DMV. I'm not prepared for like all of the writing that I have to do. And like the thing in my back has developed where it sends like these things down my arm, right?
Yeah.
So just writing like on all these stupid DMV forms, I'm dying. And I know it sounds like that's such a baby thing, but I'm sorry to have to admit that happens to me. And lose focus, you know what I mean? I never signed the fucking title on the wrong line. So now it's only signed by the owner on the line that it shouldn't be signed on.
Yeah.
So I say, fuck, I got to sign the title. I go to grab it. She fucking, you know what I mean? Like snatches it like under the window. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then she goes, she starts fucking saying, this never, da da da. And like all in my mind, I'm like, yo, 3 months ago, I registered a car just like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't say it because they're going to find, like, they know who you are at this point. They're going to cancel your current registration or arrest you for like title fraud.
Thanks for telling us.
So I'm like, you can't say that you did this last time. You know what I mean? So I don't know if she just thinks that I'm being difficult or I don't understand what she's saying to me. She sends me to this other window, right? So I go to this window. I'm like, great, this lady's going to help me. Immediately, she starts talking to me in Spanish. You know what I mean? And I'm like stunned at this point. I'm like, I didn't take Spanish. I took French like an idiot because I'm French.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like struggling to come. There had to have been a hard 20-second pause before I could pull no habla español out of my ass. And why I don't contemplate, this lady's probably bi-fucking-lingual. Like, I could have just said, like, I don't speak Spanish.
It's not like
I'm
you
sorry.
just, like, arrived in Guatemala.
Yeah. So I don't know if, like, she took offense to the fact that I didn't say this to her in English or the fact that it took me so long to pull no habla español out of my ass. Now she starts ripping into me. This will never pass. I don't know, like, pretty much, like, belittling me in, like, the middle of the DMV. You know what I mean? And I basically said to her, I go, you know what? I go, I've registered so many cars. I go, I know exactly what you do. I go, you just look for the signature and you send it through the machine, and it's all good. I go, there's no fucking AI checking on this to make sure.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, she signed it on the wrong line. She can't sell it to herself, can she? And I go, hey, we're using reasoning and logic. And now I'm being loud in the middle of the DMV. And I said, she can't sell it to herself, can she? So it would stand to reason that she's selling it to me with all the rest of the paperwork signed with the same fucking signature. Yeah. And then I go, give me my fucking papers. And I take all my shit. And as I'm walking out, she hits me with, have a nice day, sir.
Oh.
And I was like in my car, like bro, raging.
There's nothing worse than getting hit with like I'm better than you. Have a great day. Yeah.
So then I go, I come home, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like, am I just fired up because I didn't get the mission accomplished, or was I really like a victim of like reverse racism or some shit? You know what I mean? So then I make an appointment at the next possible one. It's in Cranston instead of Woonsocket. And I sit down. It's like this a fucking 40-year-old white lady. We have a regular Caucasian conversation. Everything goes through fine. Now, clearly, I have other forms that I had to get filled out now. You know, it's a title resubmission or whatever. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I fucking forged that lady's signature on 2 of those documents.
Yeah.
But I had emails that she sent me with her signature to like back up what she was saying.
Yeah.
But basically, I just took those emails and I printed them. And then I put the lid to a fish bucket over a lamp. And I put the 2 documents on top of each other. And I did that shit. And that's why I made the appointment at another DMV. I was like, I can't ever go back to the Woonsocket DMV because they know they're going to.
To be fair, why are you in Woonsocket anyway if you can go to Cranston?
Low-key secret, Woonsocket DMV be easy as fuck, bro. As long as you got your paperwork filled out the right way and you know how to speak Spanish.
I was going to say, as long as you're not going on a fucking rampage.
Dude, but back before they made, the DMV now is all appointment based. Before, when it was not appointment based, like Woonsocket and Wakefield, they used to be the hidden gems of the world. Like I would take the hour-long drive in the car, you know what I mean, to just deal with them instead.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's where it was, and that's where it was at. And I lost my cool with service workers, if you will. So I'm a fucking piece of shit, just like everyone else that I can.
Yeah, fuck them. I do the same thing though. Whenever like somebody like whenever I do something stupid on the road, or whenever somebody's pissed off at me, rather than like hitting him with like the middle finger or something, being like, I'm pissed off. I just give him the.
That's a good one.
Yeah, just thumbs up.
For a long time, I saw this, it was like a reel that I saw, and it was like, instead of fucking flipping people off when I drive by them, I just give them the thumbs down.
Yeah.
And they got to think about, damn, I got a fucking thumbs down. And so I used to do that. I would stick my finger out the window and do this, like as I drove by, and aggressively cut them back off into the left-hand lane.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, now I fucking drive by and I go like this. I look at them like,
what are you doing?
I don't understand. Get the fuck out of the way.
The thumbs up, though, it gets people pretty pissed off. When you get like right alongside of them, and they're like, and obviously they want you to have that same energy that they have. Like they're almost looking for like the between the fucking car windows like argument, you know?
Yeah.
And you just hit them with like a.
I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, they hate that.
I saw somebody with like a sticker, and it like went along like the top of their. It was either the top of the window or the bottom of the window. I forget what it was. So maybe you could, if you rolled your window down a little bit, it wasn't visible all the time.
Yeah.
But it basically said, if you can read this while I'm passing you, you're a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Because basically, like, if you're passing somebody in the middle,
on that side,
on the middle lane, like, they're the only ones that can see it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing better is like the people that have like the signs and they can type in. Like, it's like a little, there's like a little LED sign that like sticks with suction cups on the back of your window.
And they can type in?
Type a little message in there.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that. That's fucking awesome.
When I was a kid, my dad was a delivery guy, and I used to have to work with him on weekends and school vacations and stuff. And I remember he was a road rager. He still is a road rager. And I remember like having this great moment my dad's going to think I'm so smart, and being like, how come they don't just make everybody's cell phone number their license plate so you can just call them? And he was like, son, that would lead to so many problems in this world.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean? You could just tell them to move. And he's like, that's not how those talks would end.
Excuse me, sir, could you please move?
Yeah.
It's like, no. Call up that number and you fucking be like,
hey, you fucking idiot!
what are you, a fucking moron?
Pull over so I can chemically castrate you and make sure the world doesn't have to deal with your generations of fucking more. Yeah, I'm terrible. I gotta start going to therapy again.
Yeah, probably. That's all right.
I haven't gone to therapy in a long time. Ever since Renee got that new job.
Yeah.
I had to like submit wait for the new health insurance to get through. I've just been raw dogging life.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is like my therapy now, I think.
Yeah, there you go. I should be charging for this shit.
You should. How about this one note? The pre-ripped jeans, they might cost the same amount of money as normal jeans, but you pay for them with IQ points.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The more pre-rips.
That also, I feel like they're always worn by like girls that are like thick as fuck, and it's just like they're like literally bulging out of them. It's like
bro.
almost like a hot dog fucking situation.
What is up with like the self-confidence level on the fatties? Like, you ever see like fat chicks wearing like midriff shirts?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, who is that for?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not for me. Certainly not for you.
It's to get some sun on that fucking thing.
I don't know, man.
So
like,
get some sun on the fupa.
I feel like that's the only appropriate time to like have one of those dresses that like the chick from the Drew Carey show.
The moo-moo?
Yeah, Mimi or moo-moo or whatever.
It's a moo-moo, right? Yeah.
Well, that's like a. I feel like
that's like my 600-pound life.
Yeah. Oh my god, bro. Is that the one where like that? It's like the doctor be saying like ruthless things.
I don't know.
Like, I just saw some clip, and it's like the mom basically being like, well, the only thing we changed out was the vinaigrette for honey mustard.
Yeah.
And the doctor goes, was it a gallon of honey mustard? And I was like, holy shit. Got him.
I mean, you look at them and you just like, I can't help but think of the smells. Like, because you just can't wash yourself, like, if you're that size.
Bro, you
so
know
it's
what
like
I think that they
the
smell like?
folds, man, they must just be so, like, greasy and just crunchy and ugh.
Do you ever have to sit next to a kid in elementary school that had a broken leg?
No. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Bro, I used to have to sit. I don't even think it was elementary school. I think it was middle school. I think this chick's name was Allison.
Yeah.
And she was fat. She was fat and she had a broken leg. And I had to sit next to her, and I could just see, like, how dirty her fucking toes had gotten over, like, the time of having that cast on and stuff. And you could smell it. You know what I mean? Like, this is in Florida, too. So
oh, man. So it's, like, swampy. Yeah.
Like, even right now, I'm like, I don't even want to drink the rest of my coffee. It's going to make me throw up.
Yeah.
Like, But I remember having a cast. I broke my wrist, and my stepdad was a construction worker, and he used to take me on job sites, and I would clean up all the copper, like after the electricians were there, and I'd take it to like the scrap thing and get money for it. And I remember having a bunch.
I think you were a heroin addict. It sounds like
you have to gather copper.
Yeah.
So I remember taking that and like fucking, you know what I mean, like the copper wire just scratching the shit out of my arm.
Yeah.
Like, and I just remember like even just pulling that out of there. I just remember the whiff, just being like, oh my fucking god, like. But that bitch's leg was like 1,000,000 times worse.
Yeah.
And that has to be what my 600-pound life people.
Oh yeah.
Fucking smell like.
Yeah. Ugh.
Like you can't even fit in the tub. You can't take a bath.
You can't leave your fucking room. You fucking they usually have to knock the goddamn wall to get those people
out. Yeah,
out.
Forklift.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. How the fuck do you do that? Like you listen to like the fucking offensive linemen and like the NFL like talk about like the amount of food that they had to eat to keep up that size.
Yeah.
Like you ever see like
it's like they talk about it like it's a struggle.
Yeah, we ever see like Joe Thomas, like lineman for the Browns? Yeah, so he fucking when he like stopped being a lineman for the Browns, he lost like 85 pounds. Like you saw him on TV, and you're like, why does it look like I could beat Joe Thomas's ass?
Yeah,
and he's like, dude, because for 15 fucking years of my life, I've been force feeding myself like 8,000 calories a day, and he still only made it to 300 pounds. Like. What the fuck are you doing, lady, to eat to fucking be 600 pounds, 700 pounds?
Dude, it's literally the soda. Like, all these fat people drink so much soda, dude. And soda's just like fucking, like, it's simple syrup.
Yeah.
But it's probably worse. Like, I bet you there's more.
Oh, it's definitely worse.
I wonder if there's more sugar in simple syrup than there is in soda.
Oh, I doubt it. Yeah. Well, I bet you it's about the same. Because I usually do like a 50-50 thing. So, like, I bet you it's...
I just don't think soda has that thickness. But, like, with all the other, like, you know...
Yeah, but it probably has...
sugar and all these other, like, sugars that they put in there that isn't actual... You know what I mean? Does it make it not that thick?
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, it's fucking... Yeah, it's absolutely the sodas. Dude, when I stopped, because I obviously had to fucking change my diet or whatever, like... Just cutting soda out of my diet made me lose like 10, 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's fucking crazy.
I used to have soda and like some white cranberry cousin fucking hybrid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would have that all the time. My wife slowly but surely like convinced me to cut all of this shit out. And now I used to drink, I made the switch to like flavored soda waters. And now I don't even drink anything carbonated, really.
Yeah.
Like, I just drink water all of the time. That's it. Maybe some of those little...
flavor packets
things that I put in there, but it's really only like I'll put the 3 packets in my morning little routine, and that's it. Like I don't have another packet all day long. So, yeah, dude, I don't know. Like even I don't know if it's Edelman's podcast. I think it is, but there's some podcasts where like Wilfork's talking about Brady and like the Vince Wilfork that you're looking at. It's like that's not Vince Wilfork, dude.
Yeah,
like he looks like he's on Ozempic.
Yeah,
and it's only because he doesn't have to eat a fucking turkey every day. To keep up.
And also when these guys retire, obviously there's no reason to be then 295 pounds every fucking day of your life.
Yeah.
So I'm sure doctors are like, hey, if you can be like less of a person, you'll probably live longer.
Yeah.
You know? Because I mean,
unless you're like John Rocker's doctor's like, nah. Well, keep eating red meat. You got to beat the fuck out of Patrick Mahomes Sr.
I got news for you. Whatever he's doing, it ain't natural. Like, you shouldn't be 54 fucking years old and look fucking jacked.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like he could go out and pitch like tomorrow.
Bro. I waited on a man that was fucking 67 years old.
Yeah.
And he was a stonemason.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was a day over 50.
Yeah.
He was 67 years old. He had like the hardest handshake, the most callous fucking hands. Like this man was like a fucking I'm like trying to think of like it's like something from the past that I can't quite put like some show where like these giants made of stone or something. You know what I mean? Like,
are you thinking of Never Ending Story?
Maybe. I don't know what I'm thinking of, but like just the simple physical interaction with this man.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a fucking solid dude. Like this guy would beat the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
And he's almost twice my age.
Yeah.
Like that was a fucking real man, dude.
Yeah.
That was a real man.
I've been having work done to my house or whatever. So the first stage of my work obviously was pouring the foundation and shit. And we hired these dudes like you could tell they were like old school Portuguese, like fucking Rhode Islanders or whatever. And the dad was just like this complete like rectangle of a human being where it was just like a total block where it was just like everything on him was just like absolutely like just rigid and fucking he's tough looking fucking guy. And I overheard him though with my contractor, and my contractor was just talking about like the payment schedule or whatever. Just like, all right, yeah, I'll pay you, I'll pay you the X amount today. In a couple weeks I'll pay you again once the fucking inspector comes out and looks at everything. And he's just like, oh, okay. And then he goes, if you don't pay me, there's a place that I put you. This is like, damn, dude, are you putting people in the foundations of people's fucking houses? It's like, you're fucking
That's
cold.
That's a fucking great line, bro.
If you don't pay, there's a place I put you.
I'm going to start saying that to my people when I'm looking for my tip out.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, and then everyone laughed and he didn't. So it's just kind of like, oh, shit. Is this guy for real? I think it's Victor's Construction. Shout out to Victor's Construction. They did a great fucking job. I love those dudes.
Pay them.
Then the son was a Bucks fan, so I was talking shit with him about the Tampa Bay Bucks. Yeah. Anyway.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers might be the last time I felt true happiness in my life.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know when I actually felt true happiness in my life in terms of sports.
When the dextromethorphan finally wore off and you stopped being so itchy.
Yeah. I woke up the next morning not dead. Yeah.
Oh, bro, what about this fucking hospitality checkpoint here? I'm working at the Village Tavern getting my ass handed to me on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Waiting on this two-top. These ladies are like, what's the term? You're not aware of your surroundings.
Oblivious?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fucking busy. I'm the only one here running around trying to make things happen. It's not to the point to where I'm like, it's not like the airport shift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was busy enough to where like you should be aware that like you being a pain in my ass is like affecting everybody else in this room right now. So I'm running around. She goes, sir. And I stop because of the fucking
urgency in the voice.
Concern in her voice.
Yeah.
And she goes, hold it. She goes, let me show you something. She goes, hold your. I put my hand out, and she puts this thing in my hand. It looks like a tiny thorn. You know what I mean? Like, she goes, this was in my salad, and I bit into it, and I just can't eat it. And I'm like, okay. So I fucking put this thing down. I go wash my hands. I tell the chef, I go, and she's eating. I go, is there anything in the lettuce that would have, like, thorns in it? You know what I mean? Like, what this lady just found some fucking weird object. So I let them know, look at the fucking lettuce, make sure this doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, I tell them, let me see what I can do about this. I go around and make sure everybody else is good before I return to this table, right? And in the process, in my head, I'm like, did this fucking bitch just put that shit in my fucking raw dog hand?
Yeah. It's like out of her mouth?
Out of your mouth into my fucking hand.
Yeah.
So I go back up to the table. I go, lady, I'm really sorry for that to have happened to you, but I'm just really having trouble processing that your first thought of how to handle this was to take it out of your mouth and put it in my fucking hand.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm so sorry. And I was just like, I just like shook my head and like walked away. And then like I ran some more food and I came back to the table. I said, I spoke to the chef. He's going to take care of your whole check. You guys are all set.
Yeah.
And I never went back to the table again. So I pretty much was like, in the nicest way possible, get your fucking things. Asses out of here.
Yeah. Collect your things and get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Like, she still left me $10 cash.
There you go.
But I half of me wanted to like take it outside and rip it up and fucking throw it
into the wind.
Yeah. Yo, that another crazy. So the next shift I work at the Village Tavern, very windy day. This was yesterday, right? The tavern is like set in front of like a stoplight, so a big bunch of cars pile up sometimes. A fucking tree falls down on this van, right?
Oh shit.
And then it doesn't do a bunch of damage to the van. It must have been like dead wood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So falls down, but now it's like shattered in the fucking roadway, right? There's a plow truck behind this guy, so he does the good deed, plows all the fucking tree branches like into the gutter or whatever you want to call it. In the meantime, I don't notice this, but that tree had fallen enough to like knock the power line down off of its like, it didn't disconnect the power line, but like whatever like holds it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so now it's like just hanging, right?
Yeah.
So I have a guest, and she's like, yo, I just drove into like this power line in the parking lot. I was like, what the fuck? So I go out there, and I see it hanging, right? So I go, oh, shit. So I go to grab my phone. I got it disconnected from the fucking Bluetooth thing playing the music so I can call the owner and not be, like, on the fucking
Yeah. Hey, this fucking thing going.
Hey, Chris, sorry to bother you. So in the time that, it probably only took me, like, 30 seconds to do that. You know what I mean? I get back outside. I'm calling Chris. I'm like, hey, and then I'm like, never mind. The psychopaths from the pizza restaurant across the way are barehanding this wire and putting it back where it fucking goes. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Sorry to bother you on your day off. Everything's fine. But I'm just like, bro, you are some fucking wild boys.
Yeah,
Like, I would
fucking doing that.
I would never touch that.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's how you die.
That's like a true, like, yeah, just like no good deed goes unpunished, like ignorant way to die.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Yo, what about good deeds? You see my man Saquon, who's like one of my new favorite humans, wouldn't go on the Tonight Show unless they let him bring the offensive line.
Okay.
Fucking dope-ass move, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And then I saw a clip of him. It's 2 clips of him at the parade. One of them, he comes running, grabs a bottle of Hennessy from somebody in the crowd, and fucking smashes it and gives it back to him. And then another video of him, he sees an Eagles employee. He's a ball boy, right? In the crowd. He's behind the fucking gates. You know what I mean? Daps him up, gives him a hug, and you can tell him being like, he makes like a thing like this, being like, how come you're not here with us, right? Fucking hugs him, picks him up over the fucking guardrail, arm around him, brings him into the parade.
Nice.
That is the fucking coolest thing I've seen since my boy got Rob Gronkowski to take a picture with us.
Yeah.
Like the way that Gronk like stopped the entourage, because basically Gronk was walking by when he needed new money.
Yeah.
And my
my
boy, who's one of the few people that might be louder than me, was like, give that man his new money. And Gronk was like, my guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, that obviously I'm going to rank that above that shit because that happened to me and that's one of my favorite athletes.
Yeah.
But seeing Saquon do that, bro, like I'll never, like all this shit and hatred and all this stuff that I've had for the Eagles about beating Tommy in the second matchup of the Super Bowl, it's gone. Well, I don't even care anymore.
I was going to say, he wasn't even on that team, so yeah. So you're good.
What team?
Saquon. I'm saying he wasn't on the team that beat you, so like you can't
but
hate
still,
him.
I've been for a long time though. Ever since that Eagles Super Bowl, I've been like, fuck Philly.
Yeah,
like fuck Philly with the fucking biggest dick you can find.
I mean,
fuck them.
You should say fuck Matt Patricia.
But yes,
yes.
But more recently, I've kind of come into this thing of like, it's almost like that point when me and you became bonded.
Yeah.
Where like that guy started fucking badgering you, and I was like, hey, hey.
He's my guy to badger.
So I hear all these people talking about like the piece of the shit that Philly fans are.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if you guys have been to any New England Patriots games lately.
We're pretty shitty,
The Patriots fans might be worse than the Eagles fans, bro. Just because the Eagles fans, like, what do they climb fucking lampposts? Like, I've berated a lady who was a fucking Ravens fan. Like, I berated her more than I watched the game. Like, I might be the biggest sinner if you ever got on the wrong side of me in Foxborough.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't let it go, especially drinking, Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. There could be, I'm trying to get, like, it would be nothing more glorious than to be removed from the stadium because I ruined the visiting fans' time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're the worst.
Yeah.
We are the worst. So to me, we're like bonded. Like, and for what Philly did for me and for Tom Brady's all-time shit and Gronk's all-time shit, like, I think Philly is like my NFC team now.
Oh, man.
Like, I really think that. Like, I bounce around I try to be loyal to my old man and rep the Niners.
Yeah.
But then, like, during the time when, like, Romo and Jerry Jones and everybody hated the boys, I was like, everybody hates the Pats. I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then Brady went to the Bucks, and I was like, those are my guys. And now the Eagles have just done what nobody else could do for me, and those are my fucking guys.
So you just float around the entire NFC.
I guess so. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And honestly, my shout out to my college roommate, Kevin. He was one of the first people in my life that taught me how to be a nice person.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, he was a nice guy. And I said, wow, that works out for this guy. I think I'm going to try to mimic some of this stuff.
I'm going to try to adopt that.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for Kevin showing me how to be nice, and maybe Jay Skeldon, too, another guy showing me how to be nice, I don't think I would be this graduated in the form of working on myself.
Yeah.
And Kevin's an Eagles fan, so fucking go Birds.
Go Birds.
Every time I see, there's some picture of like the dude. I think it's the guy from Georgia who dropped in the draft, but there's like a still shot of him just mushing Mahomes' helmet into his face. And, like, that went viral, and I sent that to him. I was like, yo, put this on your boy's wall.
Yeah. Jalen Carter?
I don't know who it is. Some defensive line for Philly. It might have been the guy who you said should have got the
Josh Sweat
MVP, yeah. But, yeah, go Birds. We said that before. I'll say it again.
Yeah.
That's what, well, you're like, they're on my side. I like the Lions.
Well, yeah, I mean, I never had a problem with the Eagles. My brother's an Eagles fan, so I kind of always had to, I don't know, sort of root for them, I guess. But
bro, ever since I realized that fucking comedian has the same name as your brother, I don't know why.
I know,
so much funnier to me now. I saw him on on a recent thing. I feel like this dude has like libtard tendencies.
Yeah.
But he was like, whoever convinced all of these liberal women to show their tits at these rallies, he was like, good job. And he's like started going over like how ironic it was. And I was like, and then I'm like, oh, this is a guy with the same name as fucking Brennan's brother. This is Brennan's brother doing comedy.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not.
No, it's not. Nope. I generally don't like any comedian that even uses the word libtard at all. Like, just anything about it, it's a stupid word.
If of all the tards, I think glutard is the funniest.
What is a glutard?
Like a gluten allergy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Like that might have
been a nice ring to it.
If this is a funny thing that happened. I feel like I might have talked about this before, but when we first reopened from quarantine, we had it was like a boys show. I don't even think there were any girls working there. So we get a girl chef instead, right? And the funny thing would be, raw bar, people ask for an extra little accoutrement, and you would ring in or call, which would be even funnier. You'd be like, I need an extra horse cock. And that would be short for horseradish cocktail setup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just getting to, chef, please, horse cock. Like, it took off. It was great. It was a fun fucking time.
Yeah.
Right? So
what a time to be alive.
So we get this girl chef, and old Stacey Adams comes through, and he just shuts down. He's like, listen, I know it's fun. I know we've been having a good time. 86 horse cock.
Yeah.
Forever. And, like, I was like, oh.
Why?
Fuck, bro. Like, you might as well tell us we're wearing masks again, dude. Like, you're taking away, like,
the
only fun thing ever. And, like, Grant, now that I know this chef, she would have had zero fun with horsecock.
Yeah, but
it's the same chef you have. And another funny story about this, right? This is when our boy standing around with his hands in his pockets when we were still buds.
Yeah.
We're opening the restaurant, right? And somebody had already turned the music on. And normally, if you're the opener, you'll throw your tunes on as opposed to like the stupid shit they make you listen to, right? So this music's on, and we don't know, like, we don't see the chef. Like, the chef is like sitting in the tables behind like the bar wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's like at a table, like writing with a pencil, like pulling a Matt Patricia, right?
Yeah.
So me and this kid are opening. And we're like, bro, who the fuck put this garbage radio station on? It's like girl metal. You know, like Kitty and like just all this like girl lead singer heavy metal stuff. And we are trashing this fucking radio station. Like as if
she's just sitting there, like,
we don't know that she's there though. You know, we have no idea that she's even in the building. Like
so
we're
no
just
filter.
like, who the fuck left this dog shit on? Who let him out of the kitchen? Like whatever we can say, you know. And finally she gets up and like storms and fucking goes and turns like different music on. And we were both like, oh no, dude. And this is like into her, like new into her tenure. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, we have made a very dangerous enemy.
We've made a costly mistake.
We are now the most hated fucking two front of the house employees to this person.
I think if there's anybody in a restaurant that makes it like almost unbearable to work at a place, like I could work with almost anybody who doesn't like me, except if the chef doesn't like you, your life sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what? Chef, please, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you're looking for help from me, huh? Go fuck yourself.
Oh, you came to work high and forgot that same thing you always do? Yeah. I'm running you over the coals on this motherfucker.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's making me think about this other thing with, like, all of the, like, now my brain's on seafood.
Yeah.
I saw this meme that was, like, centaurs are actually insects if you consider their 6 appendages.
Oh, yeah.
And is that like some kind of rule of Kingdom Philomortar class where 6 appendages makes you a fucking insect?
I mean, I think it's one of the pre-qualifiers.
That led me to being like, well, a lot of things about insects people don't really consider either is that, like, lobsters are just overgrown underwater grasshoppers.
Yeah.
And that's fucking disgusting. Like, I couldn't picture, like, I remember when they did a flip into a Mexican-themed place, and they had those fucking, like, they eat bugs in one of these countries.
Yeah.
And they were putting them, like, on the rim of, like, a margarita or something. And the owner, as, like, a rite of passage to, like, all the other managers at this meeting, even if you weren't the manager at this store, you all had to, like, eat this bug. And I know I would have vanquished myself from that room so fast.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You think I'm going to eat a fucking bug because I'm so proud to work for you? Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I had a couple of those. Like, are you talking like the fried like grasshoppers or whatever?
Yeah, of course you did, Brennan.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
They're just like crunch. You know what they taste like? They taste like you ever had like a dehydrated chili pepper, like one of those kind of like papery sort of things. That's all it is. So you fucking eat it, and it's like turns to fucking paper in your mouth. That's it. Like they're not good either. So like it's not like something I would recommend eating, but it's not anything crazy. Yeah. Like, they're neither bad nor good. They have no flavor. They're just like, okay, cool. That's something I had in my mouth for a minute.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I feel like I look at, like, a cow or a pig, and I'm like, you're like not, like, in disbelief that that's, like, what
something
you're eating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, if you gave somebody, like, if you had just taken the lobster tail out of the shell, and you gave that to them diced up to dunk in butter, and they were just thoroughly enjoying themselves. And then you were like, hey, by the way,
this is this thing.
Here's what a picture of this thing that you're eating looks like. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, who made this up? Especially, like, how much of the population has a shrimp allergy? It's like, you're not supposed to eat that.
Yeah.
You're not even supposed to go in there. You can't breathe.
What are you
under
doing in there?
Yeah, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, but all that food and shit comes from, like, those cultures that, like, dude, if you either eat it or you die. So
I guess that's what it would take.
Yeah, well,
like I would literally
that's what
have
lobster
to be
began with.
Hanging out with Wilson.
Lobster was poor people
convicts,
food,
bro. It was for convicts.
Yeah, it was for people who didn't have any money or people who were fucking prisoners. But yeah, like all that Southeast Asian cuisine and shit. Like, you know, my brother's
like, would you eat a scorpion claw? If somebody took the meat out of a scorpion claw and dunked it in butter, would you eat that shit?
I mean, if people eat it, I'll eat it. You know?
But I'm just saying that's like the same. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. If you're eating crab claws, lobster claws, like that's just like a scorpion.
Yeah,
I would never eat a fucking scorpion. I don't care what the fuck.
That's just it. I've eaten things that I don't even know what they are. Yeah, my brother's wife is Laotian. I mean, she's not Laotian. She's American, but her mom is from Laos.
Yo,
so
is that the same shit from King of the Hill?
I don't know. Actually.
I think it is, bro.
Maybe.
You got some great fucking stuff to dig up for next Thanksgiving.
Well, at any rate, though, they fucking they have like a barbecue at my brother's house or whatever, where like the mother is cooking, and it's like a weird. It's like all the women like are inside cooking, and all the men are outside drinking Heineken and cognac, which is weird. But like they're fucking like doing this whole spread and shit, and like they're cooking this shit, and I'm kind of just like, I'm about to get a plate, and they were just like, don't eat that. And I was like, well, what is it? And they're like, do you want to know? And I'm like, no. Is it good? And they're like, yeah, it's good. So I eat it, and I'm just like, this is delicious. I don't know what it was, but it was good.
They never told you.
No, because I didn't want to know. It's like
my brain is lurking to the one question everybody wants to know.
What's that?
Were there any dogs at this cookout?
Oh, probably not. I mean, whatever.
Woof.
I'd eat a fucking dog. I don't care. Why
You're
not?
a wild man, Brennan.
Why would I don't understand these people who like clutch their pearls with the dogs or whatnot. Like, I get having dogs. Dogs are nice, but they're animals at the end of the day. You can eat them.
Yeah.
I promise you can eat them.
I just even I've said this before too. Like, if we had a younger Dryas Cataclysm,
yeah,
and I had to turn into a barbarian man, and I had to butcher my own food,
yeah,
nothing would make me want to be a vegan more.
Nothing would want to.
Like, if I had to cut a fucking cattle open and rip all its organs out and fucking let all its blood drain out,
like, cut its
and fucking
throat open, hang it upside down. Yeah.
Dude, I remember my friends telling me this story. These are my Florida friends. They killed a wild boar one time. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. You know what I mean? They just fucking had guns in middle school or early high school or something. They kill this boar, which run around in Florida in the woods if you're not careful enough.
Yeah.
They string it up That's like as much as they knew how to do from their uncles and shit like that. And one of them just took a knife and fucking stabbed it and cut it all the way down. But whatever he cut into was like its intestines and its stomach and shit like that. And
so
they
just like stomach acid everywhere.
No, they said the smell, bro, like instantly just exposing all of that to the air. They were like throwing up for like 5 minutes. Like they just could, even as far away as they could get from that corpse, like they were like just losing it. And like even just reliving, I wasn't even there, but just how vividly they told me that story, like I could feel their pain. And like I couldn't do it. Like even I see the boys at the tavern, like they butcher all their loins and everything, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, yo,
I mean, you have to, otherwise you die. That's just it. I feel
it's
like
just wild to think about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's such like like all these people that are like trying to create safe spaces and all this. It's like you understand we exist within a food chain. Yeah, correct. Like I just don't. You know what I mean? It's like this world is like a terrible place. Yeah. Everything eventually goes extinct. Yeah. Everything fucking dies. You know what I mean? Like, this is not like, it's like, if you manage to smile for 5 cumulative minutes of your 80-year lifespan, probably had it better than most of the souls that have come to, rest on this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't remember what comedian it was, but I've seen a guy do a bit where it was basically just like, all these people nowadays who are just like, the world is so terrible now. I don't even want to do anything in this world. I can't believe how terrible everything is. And it's like, dude, this fucking fraction of time in human history is so incredibly better than every other time in human history. It's not even fucking funny. Like, you have it absolutely so easy. Like, could you imagine it? We don't have to make that choice anymore. You know, I'm not going to butcher my own fucking pig because we have literally fucking manufacturing lines that do it all for me. And just it arrives in a sealed vac fucking package that I just pick up at the fucking supermarket. Like, 200 years ago, fucking Irish people were eating like potatoes. Yeah. And I'm not talking like, oh, well, their diet was predominantly potato. No, it's like, that's the only fucking thing you ate every fucking day of your life. Potato, potato, potato. That was it. That's all you got.
I feel like there's some statistic that it's only recently that the majority of the earth has not been hungry on that day.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean? Like, it's only within recent human history that we've eclipsed the point that more than 50% of the population isn't living hungry.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? But yeah, we've fucking got like money to budget for like a fucking train on the moon. Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Like
the average I remember, I don't know why I read this for Irish people in particular, but the average Irish person in like whatever it was 1885 ate like something like 3.5 pounds of meat a year. 3.5 pounds of meat.
That's crazy.
We fucking do that in like 3 days now.
My dogs do that in like 3 days. Yeah. That's crazy.
Like, you would literally eat like fucking, you'd eat like whatever the fuck it is. What do they call fucking ham or sheep? Like fucking hummus, haggis. I don't know. They'd eat fucking haggis like on Christmas Day and on Easter dinner, and that was it. That was your fucking meat for the entire year.
Eat some grass.
Yeah. And other than that, it was just fucking potatoes. So yeah. So fuck you, soft motherfuckers out there.
I mean, we're just the hardest of the soft, but
yeah, no, I'm soft as fuck, but I would do it in a heartbeat if I had to. That's just it. Like, just fucking, the people who are just like, I would never eat a dog. It's like, fuck it, dude. I eat a fucking person, dude. I don't give a fuck. I want to live, Some shit went down where, like, shit had to be done. Like, it has to be done.
I feel like this is, like, the difference between, like, being a father and not. You're like, no, I have to continue on for my boys. Yeah. And, like, in my head, you're saying all this. I'm like, I'll just fucking die. I don't.
That, and also, I think the older I get, the more I just look around. I'm like, I don't even like you motherfuckers anyway. I'd eat you. I don't give a fuck, Half the people that sit at the bar, I contemplate just murdering, And not even in like fun ways, like, ha ha ha, wouldn't it be fun to kill this person? Like, I bet you I could follow you home and kill you.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be that hard.
My newest thing that I've been saying is, like, I'd like to watch that person drown in quicksand.
Yeah. Yeah.
While holding a rope.
I mean, it makes you think of, you hear about these plane crashes and you just say to yourself, like, I bet you most of those people sucked.
Yo, you know why everybody dies on a plane crash? Because they are getting hammered on $17.28 double Bloody Marys the entire time. Yeah. They're just fucking passed out drunk. Dead.
So you're just doing your service.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. I think I got to go.
All right. I got one more point to leave us on that I was thinking about today. I ate a bunch of garbage food, and I was shitting my brains out multiple times before you came over here. And I had the thought of, like, you take a few rough dumps, you wipe a little too hard, you're walking around with a limp for a couple days, right?
Yeah.
If you have passionate anal sex as the bottom,
yeah,
is that what it just feels like?
Just living your life like a power bottom?
No, like you're just like you got that limp from wiping too hard because your shit's all fucking stretched out.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like either as a lady or as a gay man, it's like, to me, it's like, did you come that hard from anal for the next 48 hours to be uncomfortable?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, think about that, fellas. The next time you're trying to beg for that on Valentine's Day, like, you're going to incapacitate your lady for like a week. That's not fair to her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm for the people.
Yeah, you are. You're a man of the people, for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, no butt stuff out there, all right?
Hey.
Give your butts a break.
Fucking like, share, and subscribe, and, watch out for those porno ads, because sometimes they be showing gay stuff, too, and you're not prepared for it.